Hello, everyone. Welcome to D&D Night 7.
Lucky number 7.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you all can see, we have added two new people to the cast. So to give you all a general idea of exactly how this came about, we must venture forth back into a session that we had off camera. Um,
A
we
mini
were
session.
last in we were last in blind care, and they had just vanquished the horrific tale that was the tragedy of Lelvik and his family. They stayed a couple of days in the city of Blindcairn, and they heard rumors abounding that the mayor was unwell, that he seemed off in some form or fashion. So they decided to investigate this, and as they were doing so, they came across a young Fearbolg woman that had a flock of animals around her performing tricks and doing things like that for gold. They befriended her, and that was our character, Tralia Willoughby. Tralia, say hello.
Hello.
That is also my wife on stream, so everybody say hello. Then they also went and found the mayor and was seeking answers as to what exactly was wrong with him, because just a couple of days prior, they saw that he was perfectly fine. He helped erect the statues of Lelvik and his family, all seemed well. But when they went to check on the mayor, they found out that his eyes were blackened over and he was hot to the touch. Something was definitely wrong with him. And there was a young drow male that was at his bedside, which turned out to be Draxus. Draxus, say hello.
Hi.
And Draxus is the adopted son, we found out, of the mayor. And as Moxie's character spoke Abyssal to the entity that was inside, because they found out that the mayor was possessed by some unforeseen force that is to be reckoned with, some kind of demon or devil named the what?
The Spine Wrencher.
The Spine Wrencher. And the
Such a
Spine
lovely
Wrencher
name.
the Spine Wrencher spoke of unrest that was happening within the Nine Hells and the Abyss. Something is off down there in the Hells. And they actually, at the end of their conversation, are seeking, these demons or devils are seeking counsel and summoning Tiamat herself, the dragon goddess. So they are wondering exactly what is going on. And when the mayor came back into his body, they not only found out that there was a dark secret to Blind Cairn and its magics about the forge that it has there and why it is so powerful and rare, is because the mayor made a deal with either this demon or devil, and he gave a particular prize to gain this type of power. Draxus, what was that prize?
That prize was... Oh, God.
His soul, everybody. He totally
That's
remembers.
right.
He is a grade A player of Dungeons and Dragons right there. He remembered. Let's give him a round of applause. It is his soul, everybody. It's his soul. Can we see that on the board?
Yes, we have Mortal Soul for 200.
Thank you so much there, Kai. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. We also found out from the mayor that not only does his son owe his soul to some kind of devil or demon, but there is a particular item that his father was going to give him on his birthday of this year. And that was a...
Dagger.
What, Draxus?
An ornate dagger.
An ornate dagger that had some kind of aura about it. Is it possibly linked to the other items that our other characters have? Who knows? And they also found out from the mayor that a lot of the unrest that is happening in the Nine Hells is because a particular something was taken from the depths of the abyss. A very powerful creature called a Cibriex. and that is all that they know for now. After Draxus said, "Father, I no longer want anything to do with you. Do what you will." And his father said for him to run, gave them the dagger, and told him to get out of town and get far away. Our characters now face an interesting choice in what they're going to do next. With these two new characters that we have, and where's Leon? He got summoned back by Calabraxus, of all dragons. Calabraxus took him back to Shimmerberry and told him that he needed a worthy heir to take place in the council of the library in Shimmerberry to protect it, because it seems like Ascion had her last laugh with a poison that she put deep within one of the council members. With him being gone, with the tower being ransacked, and with our lovely fairy dragon nowhere to be found, where's Roderick? Everyone, what happened to him? We're all going to find out. We're all going to find out these answers and more on tonight's episode of We Don't Have a Name for Our
Game D&D.
Game characters in their party yet. So we're just calling it Game D&D, folks. Let's get into it.
Working title, The Red Moon Campaign.
Sounds like a period joke.
Blind Cairn. With having the information that you have gleaned from Draxus's father about the Sibrieks being possibly taken from the depths of the abyss, not really knowing what this creature is or its relevance, that mystery lies in the back of your mind, and also hearing the name Tiamat rings a bell to those of you that understand the gravitas of the name that comes with such a being. The rest of you are left wondering what to do next, where to go. And with two new allies at your side, and an ally of yours that has gone on to see his destiny realized in the archives of the Shimmerberry Library, what do we do next?
Wasn't there a place that we were attempting to go, or were intending to go, before we came here to do this side quest of ours?
We were going to go to...
What was it called?
Ravnica? Ravnica, yep.
That sounds about right.
All right, I guess we need to go to Ravnica. Wherever the hell that is.
Has anyone got a map? Or perhaps we should ask directions, transportation, that sort of thing. Maybe see if we can find information.
Maybe we could ask somebody in Blind Cairn for directions.
Draxus?
Yes. You're from around here.
You're from here. Do you know which way Ravnica is from this point?
I do not. It would be a lie if I told you I did.
Draxus has not seemed to have left this town, being a member of the family of the mayor. He's not done a whole lot of traveling.
Bit of a homebody.
With the way that he looks as he does, he's not judged in Blind Cairn for his looks, just the way that Tralia and Moxie were not judged for their looks. However, other places might not be so friendly.
So we are not so friendly.
I wonder about this forge the mayor spoke of. Is it connected to the dagger in any way? And is this of significance?
I'm not quite sure. My father never exactly said what he was trying to fully do with the forge.
Well, why don't we go see? Shall we?
Well, then let's go over to the forge.
Okay. Onward, ho! Head to the forge. Lead the way, actually.
Yeah, which way is it? There are so many.
Recalling where the forge is, Draxus, you lead them to the tippy top of Blind Cairn, atop the highest hill that is above this rocky, metal-like town. And you come to an extremely ancient-looking forge that is shaped almost like the head of a dragon, with its teeth coming out like this, made of metal and stone, and the fires of the forge and the magma that you see pooling inside of its mouth, and two giant ruby red eyes that are glowing as the forge starts to steam and smoke, as smoke is billowing out of it. And you see a man taking out a sword and dipping it very slowly into ice cold water and starting to bang on it.
Great things are at work here.
Intense.
My father said the forge had mystical abilities to melt into steel, but he never said exactly what he was trying to do with it.
There are many things that you can do in a forge.
Oh, there! Blacksmith!
Yeah.
I-
You
Can I
wanna
help
say
you?
We need to find the city of Ravnica. Might you know where that is from here?
Yes, I know where the city of Ravnica is. Why do you
Would
wish
you-
to know?
We have business there. And unfortunately, from this point, we don't know where that is.
Are you all sure that you want to go to Ravnica?
I can
Yep.
say we might
We
not
have
want to go there, but we
The
must.
mayor's son, we have a monk, we have a tiefling, we have a tiny halfling, and we have a, may I say, ma'am, with all due respect, a quite tall Firbolg
Yes,
woman.
yes, I know.
Never seen one of your kind before, actually, up close and personal. Quite rare to meet a Firbolg.
Don't make me blush.
So, again, I ask, it's not a place for the faint of heart. There's a lot of interpersonal battles happening in the city of Ravnica. Are you sure you wish to go there?
We have
We
to go
don't
there.
have a choice.
Interpersonal drama doesn't hold a candle to what we need to face. And Ravnica is on our path.
As Kai is saying that last thing, a billow of smoke comes out from the forge itself as you see the ruby eyes glowing, and he says, "One moment," as he goes and grabs another sword from there and starts working on it again. I know where it is, and I'll tell you where it is, but you've got a lot of nerve, the five of you, going there. I must
Why
say,
is that?
it's like I said, it's a dangerous place. Beautiful, beautiful, huge city, bigger than any city that you could possibly imagine. It is a massive, absolutely massive city, and I'm going to give you this tidbit of information. Are you listening?
Yes?
The five of you, are you listening?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you get there, align yourself with a guild. Say that you are there if you want to get into the gates. Say that you want to align yourself with a guild, and I advise that you choose one. Because not only is it going to get you into the city of Ravnica, but it is also going to allow you to learn a lot from there if that's where you're wanting to go. Those guilds, their pay runes have a vast wealth of knowledge that they could pass on to you if they accept you into their guild.
Well, thank you
Well,
very
seem
much.
going awful.
Yeah.
Which guild should we join?
That is your choice. That is not up to me.
You seem to know rather a lot about this. Can you give us the options?
I have sold a lot of metal to Ravnica in the past. I've sold a lot there. What do you want to know?
What guilds are there? So that we might have a name upon arrival.
I haven't dealt with every single guild that is in Ravnica, but the one that you are probably going to run into the most is the Azorius. They are the peacekeepers that reside there. They are the judge, the jury, and, in a lot of cases, the executioner. their council is quite vast, and their presence is very well known. And whether or not that you like the laws that are there, you're gonna either have to follow them or join up with a guild that doesn't want to.
I see.
Another guild that's very well known there that I've done a lot of dealings with because they have a propensity to blow themselves up a lot is the Is It Guild. They are a guild of very scientific minds that tinker around with technology, with things that go boom, with the very essence of an atom itself.
Sounds like something our elf would have enjoyed.
Indeed.
Wait,
That's a pity.
There's another guild that I've done some dealings with, but not nearly as much, and that is the Simic Guild. The Simic, they are a group of scientists, again, but they're not interested necessarily in technology, but in perfecting our very DNA itself. They manipulate, or so I've heard, the very genetic structure of people. I don't know much, but they are an interesting group.
Sounds dangerous. I wonder if they had any involvement with
Me too.
what's his name? What was his name? Man, I'm bad with
Lelvic.
names. Lelvic.
Yeah, me too.
Lil Vic.
There's also the Selesnya, and Selesnians are very known for loving nature. They are also known for aligning themselves with the true essence of life in and of itself. And the one that I get the call from the most is probably the Orzov, and that is only because they like to make money more than anything else. They only care about one thing, and that is how much gold do you have in your pocket. I have caught a show by the Rakdos, though. That was fun. The Rakdos Carnival. You cannot miss it. Very bloody, very gory, but it's a lot of fun.
it does sound
Fascinating.
fun.
The rest, I'm sure, you will learn for yourselves. But those are just the ones that I have the most dealings with.
Okay.
I personally have a mind for the Azorius myself.
Likewise.
Given Elenon's propensity, I'm likely to choose Simic.
The Lesnians.
I believe if we need to go there and we need to blend in and not cause too much trouble, we should probably be on the side of strength. So for that reason, I choose the Azorius.
Fair.
Will say, the Rakdos, they are a guild. They just so happen to put on a bunch of carnivals for their god, which is an interesting character. We'll just say that. Who they worship is also their pay rune, and he's quite scary.
Interesting is a very loaded word on the worst days. On the best of days.
Surrounded by fire. Comes from a bad place. He's a big devil.
Fascinating.
He's a big devil. Just
He doesn't happen to have a blue eye, does he?
No. His name is literally Rakdos, and he loves to visit the surface. I don't know how he does it, but he runs a guild from there. So ask him yourself. And he loves carnivals. Oh boy, does
I
he
might
love
go
his
to the
carnivals.
Rakdos just to visit him. That might be useful.
Have fun with that.
I will join Moxie. We can go to the Rakdos Carnival because it does sound fun.
I'm going to visit simply to meet Rakdos if I can, but I'm still going to be choosing Simic because of my lovely little glowing friend here, my book.
Well, I guess I'll just go to the
advise that
carnival
when
by
you all
myself
go,
then.
You go each as a group to each guild. Stay together. Don't go alone.
Noted.
Noted.
Stay
Fair.
together. If any of you just so happen to join a guild while you're there, that's all well and good. But don't go out on the streets of Ravnica alone. I'm going to
Understood.
give you a map that will get you there.
Much
And if you're
appreciated.
needing transportation, I can think of a way.
What might that be?
We're listening.
It depends on what I know.
Well, what do you know?
I've already given out a lot of information, huh?
I think he's asking for something in return.
What would you like in return for this information?
Depends on how fast you want to get there.
I would argue that speed is of the essence, given the nature of our pursuit.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So, what would information like that be worth, per se, to your group?
You have no idea what we are going there to stop.
That's nice. Again, I'm just gonna ask, just for.
Do you enjoy being alive?
Oh,
Now,
Praxis,
don't
Oh,
threaten
whoa,
our host.
whoa,
Now-
Because
Draxus,
your
quiet.
father.
What we are trying
I've
to stop-
I've known you for a very long time, ever since you were in diapers. There, boy. I also know your father quite well. I know everything about you. I also know everything about your dad and your mom. And,
Do you?
Oh, God bless her soul. She's left us. And
Well-
I'm just going to say, I run the forge here. I keep this forge running. And if you want to see what this forge can do, I'll be glad to show you.
Now, are you aware of the bargain that was made with regards to this forge?
I am.
Well,
Draxus, you sit your impertinent little behind down.
What I was
We do
trying
not
to
our
threaten
say-
new friend here just recently discovered it, so he's in a bit of a mood. Draxus?
you
if
will
we-
behave.
If we are not able to stop what we are trying to stop, you, sir, will no longer be alive. I am the least of your worries. By far.
Of course, you
I-
are the least of his worries. You,
Yeah,
you
buddy,
are all
I saw
dark
you
and
when you were
white.
in diapers, and I saw your dad train you with everything that you could do. Not really worried about you. Just-
Yeah, exactly. You should be far more worried about the other thing. So if you could kindly please let us be on our way.
Can somebody please
There,
silence
I
the
want you to
child?
roll a charisma check.
Yeah, time to
Okay,
roll a
hang
d20.
Okay.
Oh no.
Charisma's not bad. That does not typically incite violence.
Well, Moxie rolled a
Tiefling-
19.
Tiefling rolled her charisma check. Sir, I'm so sorry. I know he's in a bit of a mood given everything that's happened, but name your just price. You seem like a very sensible man, and I very much respect what you do here. So, name your price.
10 gold.
I simply hand over 10 gold. It's like, here, for the threat, you've earned it.
See? That's easy.
Yes.
Wasn't it easy? I thought your dad would have taught you more about handling money than that, boy.
Off
Okay,
of that
thank you.
subject, sir, can you tell me about this forge? It made me curious. I hear
What
it's
do you wanna
special,
know?
more significant than any other in the city. Possibly
What?
even the world.
What about it?
Well,
What do you
what
wanna
makes
know?
it so special?
Well, that would be how long it's been here. We built the town around it.
You specifically said something about showing him what this forge can do. What can it do?
You see all the metal that's here in this village?
Yes?
People can manipulate metal. But can they manipulate it the best that anyone in Blind Cairn can? No. I don't know what it is about this forge, but it imbued people that have been living here for a long time with a unique ability to do this, as he holds a glob of molten metal in his hand and starts manipulating it. And then he turns it into the shape of a dove and he makes it fly. What
That
this
is impressive.
forge has enabled us to do is uncanny, but it's what we do with the metal itself and somebody that knows how to wield it in general. That is the interesting thing. It's actually talked about in stories that this helped the heroes of the old storybooks to fend off a horde of dragons.
Funny you should mention that.
Yes.
Yes.
Very
It
funny
It is very
indeed.
funny you should mention that.
Yeah, why is that?
Mick?
Because we, as a group, myself, Miknik, and Kai, have seen the resurrection of his herald,
Actually, who
and
went
have
to see
seen
that?
his court of cinders start wreaking havoc across the land in preparation for the Cinder Flame's return.
Or
Yeah.
as he's called, Sharlock.
You did?
Yes.
With our own eyes.
Now,
what about
as
the two of you guys?
We just met them today, practically.
We haven't.
What?
We have not. Who is Charlotte?
we have some
Sharlock
stories to
is the
tell.
Cinder Flame. He is a very, very dangerous dragon.
Well, while you all regale your tales, I'm going to count my money, and I'm also going to finish these swords. So I'll leave you to
The
it. I'll
transfer.
also go in my house, and I'll get your map.
Thank you.
He starts walking away.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping to get more information out of him.
Still
Possibly
curious.
about the lump of metal you're holding there, Miknik.
Does anyone see a sword around?
Well, I hardly think we'll find a place more likely to understand what it is.
Yeah, just last
Does
time
any-
it was brought out, we were quickly shown our way out.
Actually, last time it was brought out, you were talking to it. What was that about?
Yes, it is, after all. Do you have an itch, Justin, or?
Snapping my neck.
Okay,
Like,
just making
he's
sure.
spasming out.
I thought you were trying to signal, like, yes, that, talk about that.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, am I supposed to say something?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
No.
so confused.
No, I was snapping my neck.
Something he does frequently.
My metal is Lortoin.
I'm sorry, Lord Twin,
Yes,
the hero.
yes,
The
yes.
metal is Lortoin?
Yeah.
You don't
That-
know that.
Doesn't seem...
I mean, over the
Possible.
table, I don't know that, but, like, weren't the clues given that it was almost certain?
I mean,
Maybe.
the voice in your
maybe
head
not.
announced itself as Lortoin, didn't it?
As far as you're aware, that is the case.
So, yeah, it's... At least I hear Lortoin in my head when I'm talking to it.
So you... That's bizarre. Well, if he talks to you, then maybe you should ask him some questions. Meanwhile, we should probably tell our new friends about Sharlock. Moxie, you're the bard. Regale them with a song about all of these wonderful details.
You don't have to do it in the song.
Yeah, you don't.
No, but at the start of our journey, we were procured by the Mikage Sujiro, who insisted we procure for him the Stone of E-Glass, which he told many lies about in order to get it.
And what is
And-
the Mikage Sujiro?
He is a vampire lord. A very, very old and decrepit vampire lord.
And powerful.
Very,
I
very
had a
powerful.
door in his keep that talked to me.
Yes, it did.
It was shaped like an owl, with the neck of a serpent, made of wood.
That does sound like a cool door.
When he got hold of the stone, he used a dragon skull to resurrect the herald, who then went about collecting the rest of the court of cinders, and they have thus began their wreaking havoc and destruction across the landscape, I have seen in first-hand detail Midas, the gold dragon, turning Timbervale into his own personal throne room, taking that ginormous, beautiful tree in the middle of the city and turning it into his throne and spewing molten gold everywhere. There was also seeing the Herald burn a village by himself. That was terrifying. Yes, it's absolutely awful. And since then, there has been an attempt on Shimmerberry, which was thwarted. I
By
doubt
us,
that will.
thankfully, luckily.
Yes, mercifully by us. We found Calabraxis, who is the guardian of the Mother Tree in that city. And he is the one who gave us the information about the heroes of old and the items which we all carry. That includes at least 3 of us. Whether or not there are others, I'm not sure. But the Mikage seemed so very excited to have us in his group because of these items, and he used these items to resurrect this dragon. And we have in fact met Sharlock in a much more weakened form. He hasn't gained much power, but he will. And
I
quickly.
believe that was a projection.
It could be that it was a projection, but he is in fact not sleeping or dead. So, alive he is. In what fashion, I don't know.
A couple of details that you managed to overlook is the Mikage went out of his way to hunt down and destroy children born under the red moon, fear of certain powers they might
point,
possess.
but yes. I hadn't gotten there yet, but I was
And
getting
also that the dragons are being sent out to certain strategic targets to try and prepare the world for Sharlock's return. Shimmerberry was one of them. Ravnica is yet another.
That
Well,
is
we're headed
also
there.
true. That's right. That is why we were sent there, was to warn them of the impending dragon attacks.
Had you forgotten?
I recently had a conversation in which I was told a very powerful item out of hell has been stolen and that Tiamat is going to be summoned to deal with this problem. That's a bit jarring.
What in life is not jarring at this point?
Fair.
Tell them
that
of the
is-
serpent!
That is indeed quite the adventure so far.
You haven't even heard of Lorna.
Oh.
It's lovely,
Lorna was a
Lorna.
delight.
She was wonderful. Lorna is a massive black sea serpent up near Icebury. She lives in the loch up by what used to be the city of Icebury. It is now a city that has moved. We had to move the city.
I see.
But they were agreeable, and now we have protected an ancient species. And Lorna is quite a lovely mother. Very, very fine individual.
A very sinister one, but caring.
She's
I'm not
sinister,
one-
She's a serpent.
I'm not one to be impatient, but the blacksmith has been gone to get the map for quite a long time. Just saying.
You need to learn a bit of patience. You have also never traveled outside of the city before, have you?
Isn't it suspicious though? I'm not being impatient. It's pointing something out.
All right, over table here. This sort of thing happens often during campaigns. It's the DM giving us time to catch each other up.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry.
all
Exactly what this
your
is.
characters getting to know each other. What I want to happen, for those that are watching, my wife and Draxus are new to playing D&D, but they really wanted to do it. They really wanted to give it a go. So they are learning, they are new, and we welcome them, and we're glad to have them on the stream with us. And they are still grasping everything. So this time that we have where I shut up, this is all over table. When I say over table, that means that we are no longer in character. Okay.
We are stepping
And-
out of the meta that we were discussing
So
earlier.
now, this kind of thing, when I have characters that shut up and are not saying anything, and I'm not talking, or they're not listening, or I make a pact that they leave, that is your all's time as characters to talk amongst each other. This time right here, since you're standing at a beautiful point overlooking this city, and this guy has gone into his house to look for something, is the perfect time for you all to not only catch up, but also get to know each other better. And I mean each and every single one of you, and especially the new people. Okay? All right, here we go. We're back in game.
You worry too much. Why don't you calm yourself by telling us you?
Now, myself, Draxus?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
actually very curious.
Do you know some other dark elf sitting in front of us at the blacksmith's?
I apologize. I just was not quite sure who you were talking to. I lived my entire life here. I had never left. My father always kept me in the house, usually away from other people. I never really knew why. It was quite a lonely upbringing, but now, since we have found that my father has made dark dealings, that has also impacted my mother. There may have been a reason for that, so I'm just not quite sure.
It's entirely possible that he, with good intentions, made the misstep, and was trying his best to protect you throughout your upbringing. After all, he did send you with us for your safety.
I no longer know what to make of it, but I can only go forward because I have nothing else left here. So,
Well, forward isn't inherently safe, but we will do our best to keep you safe.
it's the only direction I can go in at this point.
Pralia, I'm entirely surprised that the town guard did not ask you for a fee for playing in the arena.
Yes, you are mighty lucky for that.
I did make a few comments up there.
They did seem to love your performance. The problem that the thing that really makes my nose twitch about it is they insisted that I pay them because I did not have a permit when I played, and that incensed me.
Well, no one ever accused city guards of being completely fair all of the time.
No.
It is true.
It was only 2 gold that they asked me for, but I was just like, really? Really? You can't just let me off with a warning. You have to take some of what I made.
2 gold does seem like a steep fee.
I made 9 or 10, though. That's not bad. That's 20% instead of carting me off to the town jail or citadel.
A 20%
such an
tax
offense.
is pretty hefty, though.
20% one time until I get a permit is kind of a... That's a stupid tax. That is what is called a stupidity tax, where you should have read into it further before you went and did anything.
I believe it's called an ignorance tax.
That's fair.
Stupid is knowing something and not following through.
Or doing it anyway.
Yes. Is taking that blacksmith.
I'm not entirely sure.
I wanted all of you to get to know all characters.
Tralia, could you tell us about
There
yourself?
we go. Good job. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So maybe
Okay,
the
so
blacksmith
proud of
can't
you.
count to 10. That's the whole reason.
What?
The reason he's taking so long is the blacksmith can't count to 10. 10 gold.
God.
Okay, what was the question?
I want to know more about you.
There we go. Good job. All right.
Okay.
Everybody
You're going to be travel with us.
Good stuff. So glad.
Okay. Well, I grew up in the luscious forest in Humble Hearth. I do not recall how I ended up there. I just remember being raised by a magnificent treant, and although my social skills are not the greatest, I have had many encounters with all my great creature friends.
Beg
As
pardon,
she
a
says
tree
that,
end.
she looks at a bird that's flying by and it lands on her finger, and she's just kind of ignoring the conversation as she talks.
I beg pardon, a tree ent raised you?
A
I
treant.
must be ignorant. What is that?
It's a mighty tree.
You were raised by a tree.
Yes, I was raised by a tree.
I must be misunderstanding something. This is...
Knowledge nature check.
He's
Yeah.
a
Yes.
druid.
Go ahead.
Oh, a treant is it is a sentient tree capable of actual movement.
Yes.
They're very much, you would call them woodfolk, almost.
Oh.
They're
And
creatures,
they are very, very powerful things. They're very powerful people.
There's so much in the world I've not experienced.
I would say he took me under his wing, but technically it was a branch.
I like this one. She's got some wit to her.
Yes, indeed.
And since then, I've just grown up with the animals around me, singing and dancing. And the reason I'm on my journey with you guys today is that a rather large blue dragon, according to my creature friends, has lit Brimblewood on fire, and I am here to seek out why.
Rimblewood.
Have you guys come across a blue dragon in your journeys?
Not yet. I'm sure we will. But
We've seen Copper, we've seen Rainbow. One green one who...
is no
Not-
longer alive.
she couldn't keep it together in our presence.
We have made friends with a wonderful little brass dragon baby. His name is Felgalos.
The sweetest thing you'd ever seen. If it go by
I tried
Shimmer,
to
we'd have to
teach
introduce
him.
you.
I tried to teach him to say the word guardian, and first he said, Garbian. And when I tried to correct him, he said, Okay, I'm gonna be a garden.
Yes, now his fondest dream is to grow up to be a guardian of the realm of Shimmerberry. Fantastic.
Bless his precious little scales.
Sweet little dragon.
Okay, as he opens the door and he closes it, you see that he has a rather large satchel that's filled with tomes, and he's fumbling through, and he gets out one. Here's your map.
Thank you.
Which one of you takes it?
I will hold
Looked
on
like
to it
Moxie.
for now.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You don't know how to read a map,
I
do
don't.
you?
I don't
I-
think we would trust the new child, impetuous drow to hold our map just yet.
You've never left this town. I'm not entirely sure it needs to be in your hands of yet.
I can concede this one time.
Thank you.
All right.
I will teach you to read it later.
Oh, very diplomatic.
Oh, reading maps. Oh,
Just
Harder
as
than
fun
you
as
think.
reading people.
that's funny. That's funny.
Reading maps is harder than you think.
Yes, it is.
Like real talk. It's
Real, it is.
tricky.
Yes, it is terrifyingly hard, especially when
So,
you're.
you guys are
Reading
wanting
roads.
to get a ride.
Yes, that would be
Yes.
splendid.
And you said that you wanted it fast.
Yes.
I did pay you for the map, right?
You have been paid. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I paid you for the map, right?
you paid.
For
No,
the map.
we paid you.
Yes.
You paid me for the map
Correct.
Yes.
that I gave to you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll just say, I got a ride.
Oh yes.
All I need is 5 more gold. And
I can offer.
Why?
I'll
Wait,
Why?
let you hitch a ride.
Why the increase in price?
Because you just paid for the map.
You did not
Riding fee on
specify.
top of it, my friend. The mayor doesn't pay me a whole lot of money. Come on.
I can offer 5 gold.
Oh, I'm so glad that there is somebody here with just a huge heart. Thank you
You are-
so much.
You are
know how
so
much
greedy.
that I sweat over these hot, steamy forges? Thank you so much, ma'am.
Can I ask you one more thing? Given
Yes,
this unexpected charge,
Yeah,
you know a lot about weapons, don't you?
I do. Oh, yeah.
Our new friend here has a mysterious dagger. Do you think you could give us some information about it,
Yeah, sure, go
included
ahead.
in the price you just took?
If y'all got items and you want me to look at it, yeah, go ahead. I'll add it in the price. Let me see it. What you got?
All right, here. Just wait.
He takes a look at it. This is really old. The markings
old?
on here are old Dinkar.
What is Denkar?
It's a race of creatures that lived like 400 years ago. I've never seen a relic like this before. This is fantastic.
So this dagger is 400 years old, is what you're saying.
By the look of it, and the twine, how it's all wrapped together, and the metal on it is for the writing that's in it. I don't read Dinkar, but I mean, this looks like it was clearly carved into it with some kind of rough tool.
My father gave the knife to me. Why would it have been in his possession?
Didn't he say that it was on you when he found you?
What I recall.
Oh yeah, he did. Completely forgot what I just said then. Continue.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine with that, but that's a really old dagger.
Interesting.
Now, there is one more thing that I've been curious about for quite some time that our friends are kind of nervous about. The last time we tried to show it to someone, they had somewhat of an unfavorable response.
A rather unfavorable response, let's not sugarcoat.
So,
Okay.
Nick, if you would.
Yeah, I'm getting it out. I'm very reluctant, but it's this. And I present the medal that...
His eyebrows raise as you all see the hair on his arms stand on edge as he holds it. This hunk of black obsidian-like metal, very dark. It's a hunk of rock and metal that has a blue aura that surrounds it. This is Chardalin. This is Chardalin. This is... Where'd you get this?
I've had it with me for as long as I can remember.
He looks around. I wouldn't let anybody see this. This is an extremely sought after rare metal.
I'm aware.
It was used in, from what I've read, the ancient wars against the dragons. In the stories, it talks about it. From what I read as a kid, I could be mistaken, but I'm not sure. I remember somebody having one in the story or something.
good sir, I have another gold piece if you can tell us everything you remember about it.
About what? The Chardalin?
Yes. And the stories, how they were used.
Chardalin was used supposedly in the stories in my forge. In this forge. Used and embedded with magic to form it into something. I don't really recall, that was so long ago when my mom read me those stories, but I've never seen Chardalin before. I've heard about it. It's dealt in a lot of underground dealings, if there's any that remain, but from what I've heard over the last 30 years or so, it's a lot of the remaining mining areas that had Chardalin were completely wiped out for some reason. There's supposedly somebody trying to get all of it.
And where might those be?
The mines?
Yes, sir.
If...
No.
Would you
I've
be
never
able
dealt
to...
with Chardalin. This is the first time I've actually seen it.
Do you think you'd be able to make something with it?
I could try.
Could
Are
you
we
give me a
sure?
moment with it to meditate?
Okay.
Are we sure?
I take it and I try and find a quiet corner I'm going to try to reach out to Lortoin.
Okay.
What
I'm not
are you trying to
entirely-
say, Moxie?
I'm not entirely sure we should be leaving anything like that out of our possession for any length of time.
I agree.
It largely depends on what he says as far as a time frame, whether we would have to do this before we depart or if we do it.
Come back.
Yeah.
If we have to come back, certainly not.
It would be, I think, based on, maybe this is just a nightmare that I had, but I think bad things have been following us and making things surrounding us disappear.
A moment, please. Good sir, blacksmith.
Yeah.
A further 10 gold for you, to never mention this conversation or this item to anyone save us.
I hope you are minusing out of your gold account, but okay.
I have 11. I have
Okay.
11. I'm giving him
Okay.
everything for this.
Okay. Okay.
When I'm bribing big, okay?
You want me to never
Considering
say anything about this conversation ever again?
To anyone
do that.
save us, if we should return.
Okay.
While Mitnick is meditating, may I submit something to your review?
Yes.
Okay. I fumble around and I find a hunk of something and I hand it to you. And I just say that it speaks to me every night, but I don't know what it is.
What she pulls out of her bag, you all see, is an orb that is glowing red, and it has a blue swirl that is going around it, and you see it constantly moving as the glow of it almost entrances you, as almost a hypnotic spiral. Imagine the spiral on like those really weird like hypno things.
Yeah, the hypno wheel.
That's kind of going all around it, and it's continually flowing around this orb.
Can you tell me what it is?
I have never seen anything like this before. I will say that it's made of some kind of, maybe a gemstone or something? I'm not sure. As he hands it back.
I rolled an Arcana check
Okay.
to see what I can see about it.
You can
And-
sense. What'd you roll?
That's a 15 on dice plus 3. 18.
Okay. You can sense a very powerful aura coming from it. And it's almost as if your eyes are transfixed on it as she holds it. And you can feel like a longing to go near it. But as for any knowledge of where it possibly could come from, you haven't the slightest idea. But you can see that there is what looks like a chunk of bark that's on it, like kind of stuck on it.
What? You said it speaks to you. What does it say?
The only thing I can say is it just tells me to stare at it. Never look away. I keep it in my satchel so it keeps me from distraction.
Entirely fair. It seems to do that to everyone. Though, if it keeps telling you to look at it, there might be a reason, but we're going to have to try and find someone who can tell us what that reason would be.
How many of you are looking at the orb right now, or looking toward Willow?
I try to maintain eye contact.
Okay. That's Kai, that's Moxie. Who else?
No, what have I done?
That is...
I'm
Oh,
fighting
maybe
not to
roll
look
it
at
anyway.
it, but yeah.
Okay. You did make eye contact with it, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
What are we rolling?
I haven't actually seen it. Like I haven't seen it.
Roll a Constitution check.
All of us.
Do I need to?
That
While
you are making
they
eye
are
contact with.
rolling,
I'm at
Oh
13.
shit.
while they
I
are
almost
rolling,
took a 20.
What do I roll for Constitution? D4?
That's
D20?
10. D20,
D20 plus whatever kind of modifier that you have.
which
It'll
is your
be-
Constitution
yeah.
modifier. That was a 10 for me.
Okay.
Can we not with sharing screen? Whoever just.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, just tell us what you rolled.
4.
4.
Okay.
I
Oh,
got-
no.
Each of you that are looking at it right now, Kai, what'd you roll?
13.
Okay. So, Moxie, Willow, and Drax.
Luck
You
of the
all-
monk strikes again!
Your gaze is ever present on this orb, and you all almost start to make your way toward the orb as if your body has no control over what it's doing. And then you see the man at the forge grab it, and he throws a blanket over it, and he hands it back to Willow as you all
Thank
snap
you.
out of it.
That happens
What
to
was
me
that?
every night.
Well,
How did you know how to do that? How did you know to do that?
You know something.
I've seen those type of hypnoses before, and the only way to break it is to break whatever you're looking at it. I really, honestly, don't know much about this thing.
Where have
Except
you
for
encountered it?
appears to be made of some kind of, I would say, maybe a gemstone?
By the way, my meditating, I'm actually trying to reach out to Lortoin and see what he thinks of me forging the metal into a weapon.
As
And-
your concentration is on the Chardolin stone, you feel a voice come in your head. What is it this time?
I want to know what you think of this metal being forged into a weapon.
Not yet.
I
You're
see.
missing so many things.
I see.
If you were to try to forge it into anything right now, you wouldn't get very far.
Can you help me with getting those things? Like, where should I look?
You know those that cord of cinders?
Yep.
Yeah. I'd start there. If I were you.
How do you know of the Court of Cinders?
You can't hear him.
Yeah, no.
you're not hearing
this
a
is
dang
not-
thing.
Conversation
This isn't the
happening-
blacksmith.
happening meditatively between him and his rock.
Yep.
This is while we're looking at the orb thing.
Yep.
So his pet rock and him are having a combo right now that you can't hear.
We are
Sorry.
meditating right now. We're in a corner off to the side, and
Almost like a state of prayer type of deal. Think the whole
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just it gets so immersive
Hey,
the
it's
way you
all
do it. I
good. It's
just
all
get
good
locked
because-
into it.
Hey, you're still
Yeah.
learning. You're still learning. That's okay. This is a safe place to explore those kinds of thought processes.
yep.
You're a horrible player. I hate you. Get out.
So
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Anything else, or can I go back to what I was doing?
Thank you. I think that'll be okay.
You think?
You're fine to return to your studies.
Okay. Thanks. The connection
See
is
rock.
closed. As you see the glow from the stone start to dim.
I swear I'm gonna get a headache talking to this guy one day. I stand up and
Yeah.
return to the party.
Any further questions, or would you all like to head to Ravnica?
I think we're ready to head to Ravnica. And
Ravnica.
I look at Kai with a suggestive look of not now.
So how about that
Suggesting.
metal there, bud? You want me to try my hand at the Chardolin?
Not today. I think it will happen, but not right now.
We need to
Okay,
do a
I'd
little
really
bit
like
of.
really like to give that a go, but alrighty.
I'm certain you'll have the opportunity if you
I
can
didn't
I
realize I
will
remember.
hadn't
say,
turned something on.
I will say, there's a lot of people
There.
that would kill for what you have right there.
I'm very, very well aware. That's why I
And if
keep
you
it
remember
tucked
what
away.
I paid you for, I can promise you a chance to work on this as soon as we know what to.
Okay. All right. As for you all, if you're wanting to go to Ravnica, he pulls down a large, like a tapestry type of thing, and you see this big hunk of metal that is right behind him, and he hits a button that is on his forge, and you see the top of the forge almost like teeth.
Welcome to steampunk. I love this.
It opens up, and you can see the bright sunshiny day and the clouds that are above you, and you can you see that he gets a big grin on his face as he pulls down a pair of goggles. Okay, you ready?
I don't trust
Okay.
it.
As
Right.
he
I rolled an
does
8
this
for
with his-
trust. No trust.
an 8 for trust. Yeah, okay. He rubs his hands together, and you see him start to mold this metal into what looks almost like a flying sky bike. It's a long sky bike, and he starts curling the edges up as you see very Indian culture inspired curves that are going up and down this thing, and you see
Kaladesh.
yeah, kind of like Kaladashian, and you see these wings that unfurl. All right, hop on. I made 6 seats. As he hops onto it. What are
Immediate,
you waiting for? Come on.
immediate, no hesitation. I hop on.
Yep, same.
I
Hop
hop
right on.
on. Rather reluctantly.
Find the seat with the most legroom. I'll take what's left.
Okay.
I don't take up
Everybody
much room.
Hold on to your butts.
What?
As he does
Hold on to your
this kind of motion, and you see it start to levitate up, and the wings start moving on it in a very mechanical motion, very steampunk looking, as it starts taking off into the air. And he says, "All right, welcome aboard my flight. We're gonna be going at approximately a good 35 miles per hour, and probably gonna take maybe about
I'm so confused. Why is he talking like this?
an hour to get to Ravnica. So buckle in and stay frosty."
How high are we going to go in this thing?
How high
You
are we
see him
flying?
go as you all curve into the air and start going above the cloud line.
I think I know
We're,
why he said hold on to our butts.
Approximately 5,000 feet in the air. So hold on.
Can you not fly any lower to the earth?
No.
I did not know that I had a problem with heights until this moment.
See what
Although I
y'all's
don't think
problem is. It's so cool.
You know, I don't think it's so much the height as the concept of returning to the ground.
So
We'll be fine.
you all are now on a flight pattern to Ravnica. You see him say, well, while you guys are doing whatever you do back there, he pulls a sheet of the metal that wraps around almost like a carriage in front of him. And he says, "Feel free to talk. I'm just going to sit here and do what I do best," as he gets out a metal hookah and starts,
Are you flying under the influence?
"Hey, look, man, you paid for it."
I didn't know what we were buying.
Kai, I think
Flying
we'll be
blacksmith.
okay.
If I give you 2 gold, can I bum a couple hits? Flying blacksmith.
Oh no.
You sure can, bud. You sure can.
Good lord,
Mm.
2 gold.
I give you 2 gold and take several takes off several
You
totes
see a
on
metal
Oh,
Hookah.
my
tube. You see a
alien
metal
boy.
tube right near your seat go, and it goes right into your hand as it
Oh.
starts to curl into the hookah shape, and you
I
can
look at
grasp it.
Kai. We have definitely just brought a drug-addled teenager on this adventure. I do not know if he will survive Ravnica.
If he won't, even if he does, his pocketbook surely won't.
No kidding.
Good
He has
thing
no
we have
idea
at
what
least
he
one
just
performer.
paid.
Is Tralia taking hits too?
Yes, yes, I need it. I've
Oh,
never
boy.
flown before. This is scary.
That's fair. It's one thing to want something to ease your nerves, it is another to be a drug-addled hoodlum.
But you can
I mean,
do
that's
both.
You
I
all are
have to ask.
currently
I have to ask, is this an
Technically,
enclosed carriage thing?
alone in the in this sky bike.
Can
Is
anyone see anything outside of the carriage?
Is this enclosed or
Your
open to the wind?
all's part, it's partly enclosed. There's like a bit of a rail system that's keeping you from falling off or anything like that. And then
Oh.
there's the wings that are underneath, and then there's the carriage that
So
comes.
yeah,
up.
we're like in a friggin' biplane.
Pretty much, yes.
No, Cal, we can't hotbox the plane.
So
I don't think
You all
anyone
are
else was thinking that.
currently-
Oh,
you all are
I thought that was the joke. My bad.
you
Nope.
all are currently alone. You can speak amongst yourselves freely if you would like.
So,
I was just trying to get an idea of the environment that we're in.
so
I'm just
Kai,
sitting there touching the seat.
Yes.
You all can see the clouds that are surrounding you right now. Open skies, beautiful blue skies, white clouds that are almost as if you're going through the ocean. You're gliding atop these clouds.
You know, after a moment, if you don't look straight down, actually quite wonderful.
yeah. So
Even if you do look straight down, it's still pretty cool.
I
You
reached.
have different sensibilities than I.
So Kai,
Yes.
I reached out to Lurtoin. Firstly, he's kind of headache inducing.
Are you certain it's Lordfine?
Well, I feel relatively certain. But he also said that I don't have everything that is needed to actually make a weapon out of this metal. Not even
I see.
close. And unfortunately, given what the weapon would be for, the necessary stuff lies with the Court of Cinder.
Of course it does.
Yep.
Did you happen to ask what the necessary items might be?
I tried.
Can I offer a suggestion? Next time you speak with him, try and get a little more detail about his identity. Confirm who he is, because this wouldn't be the first time someone has tried to trick us.
Very true.
As the how elevated that you all are right now starts getting to each of you, you start feeling woozy
Lightheaded?
and lightheaded as you start going in and out
Anyone feel
And
drunk,
in-
but it isn't pleasant?
and out. Of
Does anyone
sleep.
have a barf bag?
I do not feel right.
And now you are asleep. The room grows black in your eye of your mind, and you see blue and purple flames start spouting around you all. You all are in a room that is covered in black and blue and purple flames, and a large table elongates in the middle of it as chairs start surrounding it. And then at the end of the table, almost as if Jesus Christ himself were sitting at the end of this table, you see a shadowed being with large horns that curl at the back, and you see a blue eye that lights up in flames. And this being is completely comprised of what looks like shadow energy as his claws hit the table and his legs are crossed and he's sitting oh so very smugly.
Hello,
Hello
Hex.
again.
Oh, creepy uncle.
I would enjoy it if all of you would have a seat.
Wait,
Do you know him?
Yes.
you're here too? Oh,
Yes, we
fascinating.
do.
Draxus and Willow are very taken aback by what is transpiring right now.
We shall have to
Yes.
have a conversation about this.
What did I get wrapped up into?
Something where you do not need to be shaking anyone's hands.
Do not take anything he offers you.
It's
In
not
a
He
fun.
Any
almost,
deals.
as if his being slunks over the table, like his shadowish figure lurches over the table, and his neck stretches out to see Draxus and Tralia. He's making eye contact with the both of them.
Hello.
How do
I know
you
you're
know
wanting
me?
to be creepy right now, but I thought I should say you're rather reminding me of a door I know.
That's delightful. I hope the Mikage is enjoying his decorations, Kai. As for the two of you, you seem so familiar.
You are not familiar to me.
You
Not
see
a
him start sniffing the air as his form goes back across the table and sits back down.
Have a seat, everyone. We have much to discuss.
Here we go again.
I just
I
very quickly
slump.
taking a seat because I
That's
get
it.
yelled at by a shadow demon.
I just slump into the chair with all the casualty that he has.
Now that you all are seated, would everyone like a drink?
No,
I'll pass,
thank you.
thanks.
No, thank you.
Stopped drinking recently.
Draxus, would you like a drink? Hey, what
I
about
would-
you, Willow? Would you like a drink?
No, thank
I-
you.
No, neither of you.
I'm on a sobriety streak for right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer.
How interesting. Seems like you all are no fun anymore. Now,
I were just wise to your tricks.
for the matter of hand, you all seem to be sleeping right now.
Yes.
Where are you currently?
On a flight.
To
You
Who
don't
needs
know.
to know?
girl.
As much of your
Hex's
knowledge as
fingers
you
We are
have.
going
Moxie.
to Ravnica.
Ravnica.
We're seeking to align with guilds.
How
I have to wonder how
interesting.
you seem to know so much and yet so little.
About what, Kai?
About the
what we're
world.
doing.
I see everything.
Except what we're
And-
doing?
I see nothing. All at the same time.
Is that a curse of the place in which you are trapped?
It is a curse. Yeah. Where I am, it exists in and out of time itself. Now, you all are going to Ravnica, you're going to go and align with a guild. However, I do question exactly what it is that you're going there in the first place for.
To warn of the Court of Cinders coming to destroy the city. What else do we do when we go to a new town?
Egads, where are my manners? Draxus, Willow, let me introduce myself. My name is Hex.
Pleasure
You don't
to meet you,
sound very
Hex. I could not
Now-
help but notice that you already knew my name. Why is this, Hex?
I always take the names down of people that I find very interesting.
What about me to you is interesting?
The five of you are a very interesting group to me because of something in you.
What specifically in us? Can you please be a little less vague, Hex?
Moxie,
He
would you
might just kill
please
you.
regale them When were you all born under?
I'm fairly sure all 5 of us were born under the red moon.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner, baby. You each were born under a red moon.
What is
And
the
I have a very, let's call it, mutual interest.
With who?
The 5 of you. Aren't you listening, boy?
I don't know where your interests seem to lie.
I don't know where your interest.
As he raises his hands up, there are almost shadow strings that start attaching to your body. And he starts raising your hands up.
You've made your point. You've made your point. You may stop
my
your
God.
standing.
Boy, you're in my realm. Talking back to me is, well, I'll say you've got big balls for such a young man. But I'm going to say this once. If I'm going to say it again, shut the fuck up until I speak to you. And you
Uncle,
are spoken
charisma.
back to.
Charisma check for Hex. Uncle. He
Why do you
is
keep
young.
calling me that?
It seems fitting.
Uncle?
To my
Interesting.
point.
I'll take it. I'll be your uncle. How you doing there?
Excuse the
Would
shut-in
you like a
child.
toffee? I'll give you one.
I'm good.
Butterscotch.
I'm fine.
Sniff stick. Would you like one? They're real good. Nick, you'd know all about the snick stuff, wouldn't you there?
That never actually happened.
He flicks it across the table.
Now, what is it that you want to know?
I'm sorry, aren't you the one seeking information? You brought us here.
Yes,
think he's
but you
talking
said
to
something.
Draxus.
Uncle, I want to ask you a question. What is
No,
it?
I was not asking you a question. I was simply saying, please excuse our shut-in friend here. He's never left his father's house in his life.
Fine. Now, I have a question for the 2 newbies. Tell me, what are your first memories?
Mm. Willow, would you like to go first? Ladies
When you were-
first.
Let me be more specific. When you were babies.
My first memory is being under a giant tree, surrounded by lush grass.
Interesting.
I have one single very brief memory from my childhood of being found by who would later be my parents. They told me I was born under blood, and I did indeed have. Oh wait, no. Am I supposed to tell you about the dagger?
Go right
That's
ahead.
up to
You're
you,
already
man.
started
That's on you. You determine how much you want to tell him. Unlike me, you are not
Silence,
mandated.
girl.
Well, I
Let
was,
the boy speak.
and I was found under a blood moon with a very ornate dagger. That is the only memory I have of my childhood.
It's fascinating. A dagger.
Yes,
Where'd it come from?
I do not fully know myself. We did run into a blacksmith who said it was from some kind of extinct or dead race 400 years ago.
Uh-huh. Yes. What was that race called?
I do not quite remember if anybody
Was
else
it the
overheard that.
Tinker?
Yes, it was.
Oh, delightfully frightful. And what of you, girl? Little fearful girl. What about you? Tell me. You're hiding something. Would you like to tell me what it is that you keep in your bag? I can smell it.
An orb, so I've been told.
Uh-huh. What's it do?
I don't know.
I'd like
It just
to have a look.
I
should we?
would. Very much. Like to have a
From the
look.
I cover my eyes.
I turned my head away.
You see his fingers crawl across the table stretching from his hand as he grabs a hold of the orb and brings it over to himself, and you see his eyes glow blue along with the blue of the orb itself. And then you see him do this, and you see blue aura start coming out of it, and he starts putting it inside of his mouth.
Yeah.
Doing our orbs.
That was tasty
Ew.
and very enlightening.
Why did you do that?
This orb has been keeping her memories, and also some of the memories of you all when you looked at it. I got to see.
He rolls it back across the table.
I've gotten enough information for right now.
That's disgusting.
However, I would like to make a deal with you all. Because I'm still wondering, did you ever find those books?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna need a refresh on the books.
Yeah, what book?
From Shimmerberry, the books that were stolen from the library.
No.
Right.
We suspect Vanderhoff.
The books on what happened during the war. You remember?
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay. Good. For Willow and Draxus, there were books that were in the Shimmerberry library. That library is one of the wealths of knowledge in the land of Theratil. And those books were said to have the actual records of what happened with the war between the heroes of old and Sharlock the Cinderflame himself. And they were stolen. They're gone.
I do detect something. I see the other one, Leon. He's gone. He's
Yes.
ran away.
He did not run away. He returned home to take
He was
care of
called
something.
back to
He's
his home to
in-
take care of things.
Shimmerberry.
As
That is
for
his
those
home.
books, we believe they may have been taken by someone with control of a Banderhop.
Now that is interesting. Vanderhubs are one of the creatures of shadow. They're fun.
They're also enormously, ravenously hungry.
That they are, but they never eat.
No.
They never eat anything. They don't need to. They take things and they bring it somewhere. So the question then becomes, the little tower that your friend had, where'd everything go? Who took it?
I'm sorry, did
I
you say
want
had?
you- Yes, had.
Means the tower has itself been taken or destroyed.
The tower, if you don't recall, was ransacked
Yes.
by these Banderhobs and somebody that I couldn't see. And they took your, what was he called? Roderick.
The fairy dragon, yes.
Yes.
Little poor fairy dragon. He's gone. I want to know who took these things. And I was also wondering if you'd be so kind as to bring them to me.
What is your end goal, Hex?
My end goal is to see this entire thing finished. Just like you all.
But what is your desired outcome?
Those interests are ones that I think that you all would find very becoming. I want Sharlock dead just as much as you.
You are a follower of Tiamat, then.
That bitch witches. She is nothing to me. She's probably shaking in her boots right now.
And
So
what
by-
would you know
conversing
of
with
a Cybriex going missing? Would you know anything about that?
I don't like that face.
The Cybrix is gone.
Tiamat is to be summoned to deal
How
with
did
this.
that escape my vision?
Very likely the same way we have.
This happened in hell. I heard from a fellow denizen.
The Cybrix is a very powerful wealth of knowledge. They know everything. They exist in all dimensions of the multiverse. If they could, they would planeswalk themselves, but they planeswalk in their dreams. That's how they see everything.
So
If
it
one
would
has
take
gone missing, there is someone that wishes to know a great wealth of knowledge at all times.
that would fit
Someone other
Sharlock.
than you, it would appear.
If I had a Cybrix,
You'd have no
I
reason to talk to us.
Yes.
first of all, I wouldn't need to talk to you. Secondly, I probably wouldn't be still here.
So,
I lean in closely with everybody, and I whisper, "You guys said to not make any deals when we got in here, and now you're making a deal. Why is that?"
we haven't made any
This is
deal.
not a deal.
This is a conversation.
Okay.
This, on the back of my hand, you ignorant child, is a deal. It's why he controls me.
You
I-
each have a role to play in this end of time.
I am getting
However,
tired of these pronoun games.
I want those books.
And what
I
will you
will
do with them?
reward you all handsomely.
I care not for your rewards. What would you do with them?
How handsomely?
Of course.
Those items that you have.
What items?
Oh, you're
Your
such
dagger.
a fool boy. You showed me the dagger. She showed me her orb, and I know what the other three have already.
No.
The last time anyone took these into their possessions, the Herald was summoned. And I am
don't want
loath
them right now.
to give them to anyone else.
I don't want them, period. I want to help you finish them.
Who is them?
Those weapons that you hold.
Finish
I want to
creating
help
these
you
weapons?
finish
Yes, that makes sense.
them.
Finish
Interesting.
creating them or finish them off?
Finish creating the McNick. I understand that the air is thin, but yes. Ugh. Thin indeed.
I am tired
Ooh.
of being at odds with you every time we meet. If
We
you could
have
be
an
clear with your
accord.
designs, if you could be more clear with your designs when we meet,
You are a feisty one, Kai. That little bit of soul that you hold on to, doesn't it just suck? Don't you just want to let loose once in a while? I can feel it in some of you. You all are so goody two-shoes. That little girl sitting there talking to all those fucking animals. Can you just imagine what they would say if they would all burn down? Oh, good Lord, what would it matter?
I knowingly sentenced a child to death in the hope that things would go better when she was out of my purview. I am no stranger to your designs.
Good, then you'll get me those books.
Kai, be careful. He'll do the puppet thing to you.
Oh, it was amusing to watch him do it to you.
Silence, I
see.
have no control over you all except for her. You all are free to do what you will. I'll get them one way or the other. Whether or not you work with me is up to you.
And that's all I'm trying to say. I am tired of being at odds every time we meet. I'm tired of
Good.
pronoun games. I would like to know your intentions so that we might perhaps work more amicably.
Finish. Sherlock. Boom. Done and done.
And you?
him gone allows me to better view the world.
View, not influence.
View the world.
I do have one question that I don't think I've ever asked you. Are you demon or devil?
That's a fun question. Let's say one and none at the same time.
Interesting.
Now, you all are boring me unless you wish to help me. If not, have fun in Ravnica.
I do
So,
have one last question.
that would be...
If all your design is to view, why is it that you refuse to help us help you?
I cannot interfere.
But you can tell. You may not act, but you can give information at appropriate moments. Maybe not the exact details, but enough to influence. You gave us the back way in the tree, where we might have missed the dragon, but we would have gotten the information faster. Possibly saved these books you're after.
Right. Well,
I see.
perhaps our
given
relationship
us
just
something
got
to
a bit
consider.
better.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That is great news to me. I look forward to speaking with you all in deeper terms. Maybe mano in mano
Maybe.
soon. Sweet dreams, sugar puffs.
As he sends you all back into
Oh!
your reality, you all are
Light.
back on the sky bike, and you wake up.
Oh,
I am
right,
no
we're
one's
still-
sugar puff. I will never concede to that ever being a thing. Ever.
Yes,
No.
we're in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the sky. We are still very much in the sky.
You hear the man say,
Oh, hello.
"All right, we're about to head down.
Oh, goody!
Hey.
Ravnica is inbound.
Just
You will
curious.
have a little bit more time to talk with each other, if you please.
What kind of landing are we looking at?
Let's just say it's going to be a landing.
Oh, encouraging.
I take it you're of the landing means just stop flying crowd?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the second time that I've flown this thing, so we'll figure it out together.
Joy!
Fascinating.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Joy and rapture.
So you said we still have a few minutes to talk.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was something different.
Okay, what was that?
Alright.
That.
First things first, he appeared to all of us in our dreams, individually, at the start, and wanted to make a deal with exactly as much information as you gained today, maybe even less than that.
Definitely less than that.
Yes, he's
But
not
I think we learned something.
forthcoming in general.
He is not to be trusted in
He is to
general.
be-
He can be trusted to an extent.
None of the mystical beings I have run into so far, with the three of you, seem. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Seem trustworthy, perhaps?
Yes.
Maybe you should put down the pipe.
Yes, please put down the pipe so you can think clearly.
I'm seeing the same mystical creatures that you guys are, so my pipe has nothing to do with any of it.
I would like
That's
to
also
hear
slightly true.
each of your all's inputs about that.
I think he has a harmless goal. And therefore, if he can help us, perhaps we can be a little more open.
I hardly think it's a harmless goal, but perhaps it is a greater good than the alternative, and our best shot at making it happen.
Yeah, seems that way.
It's like one of those things where it seems like he'll help us fix our problem, but then he'll become another problem. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
He's told us quite straight that he only wants to view. I don't imagine it's... I can't conceive of it being outright bad or another problem.
There has to be things he's not telling us.
Tralia, what do you think?
Tralia?
I think he's untrustworthy.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. Being the one with the contract on my hand, I don't know what he's collecting, when he will collect. I haven't found someone who will decipher my contract for me as of yet. But this mark is most certainly a signature. The demon possessing your father, Draxus, looked at the mark and immediately knew exactly whose contract it was.
I see, so they know of each other to an extent.
All things in the underworld that make contracts and are capable of keeping them have what I would assume is their own signature. And if you're around long enough and you see enough of them, you start recognizing whose is whose.
I see.
And I call him Creepy Uncle because he acts like a creepy uncle, not to mention notice how he looks and notice how I look. It does not, over the table, it does not show it in the image, but that is Moxie's skin tone and her hair, but her eyes are the bright, almost glowing shade of blue.
Okay.
Almost like Hex's, but not quite as vibrant.
I can shop that for you if you want.
That would be lovely. The image should still be in general somewhere. But yes, you see why I call him my creepy uncle. I resemble him very closely, as does my father. So, hence I call him that. And I was the only one who felt in the beginning like it was a fairly harmless decision to make a deal with him on the basis that he would be helpful. And so far he has. But he's also been very annoying.
Yes, he's certainly
Okay.
annoying.
So he
And
hasn't
the
done.
fact-
So he hasn't done anything bad. He's just kind of annoying, but still helpful.
He's just a
Well,
bit of a prick.
he's given me a headache, but no,
And he's
nothing.
enslaved Moxie against her will to a certain extent. Other than that,
He
I suppose
tricked
not.
me. He tricked me into a contract. That is ultimately it. But he has actually ended up giving me personally a couple of things, as well as given us a way into things. We wouldn't have gotten into that maze that we ended up in to find Calabraxis if I didn't have this on the back of my hand, I don't think. Because the symbol on my hand was on the wall.
I wish
And there
he
was no
had-
other way.
I wish he could have been a lot more forthcoming with information from the start.
It isn't in his nature.
Okay,
Please.
fine, but like, if it's in his best interest to get information from us, and it's not for an outright evil purpose, then tell us, so we can work with you.
I have a
Either
theory
way.
on that. Much like
Mhm.
Moxie is bound to speak when he demands, he very well may be bound by another.
That's true.
He is certainly capable of being controlled by another. Because in the first instance where he was speaking to me, and I first found out he was not my father, thank God, thank the gods, he was yanked away from me by a shadow chain.
If
He was yanked away from you by the Shadow Chain.
Hold up.
I'm sorry. Hex was yanked away from you by the Shadow Chain?
Like
The same
yours
chain
were
that-
like yours were from you.
I did not know that this was Hex who was taken by this power. This...
So perhaps his seeing goal help somebody else that perhaps is not in our interests.
I was concerned about that as well, but when he next saw me in private, he expressed great distaste with the fact that he had been treated in such a way, which tells me that he is not remotely concerned with the large glowing red and gold eye that yanked him away. Because if I'm not badly mistaken, it was the Herald. So
Hear me out. Each of us had someone speak with us at the beginning of this adventure, except for our new two partners. Us and Leon, we all
yes.
spoke with
Out
an
comes-
entity. We all spoke with an entity. That entity
Yes.
was taken by this same shadowy chain figure, and when next we saw them, they could not speak as freely.
This was not the one I found when that happened. If I am not... Dungeon Master may correct me if I'm incorrect with this, because the person that I found who could not speak, or tried to speak and could not, and Hex are not the same person.
Correct, as far as you are aware.
As far as I am aware, that was not Hex that I found.
That is an interesting caveat that you put in there.
Because when I tried to speak to the person chained, as opposed to when I speak to Hex, Hex actively says, "Oh, hell no, I am not your sire. No." This one, when I spoke, said, "Daughter?" And then looked very surprised to see me. And then I was immediately yanked out. Most annoying. And I was told by, I believe it was Hex, to go find the Well of Tears.
Has he ever given you such specific direction since?
I haven't had...
I don't believe he's given any of us such specific direction as you just said.
I also
I am
started
thinking-
mistrusting him. I started mistrusting him when the rest of you did, because I started to second guess whether or not me trusting him was a good idea.
I'm starting to think that he is more trustworthy than he seems, and he speaks in riddles and hints because that's all he is able to.
I still will insist, given what little I know, I will still insist that if he is a devil, then he is bound by a certain number of laws of nature to act in a specific way. It is in what he is. If he ceases to be that way, he ceases to exist as he is, which creates other problems. But
Fair.
a creature who is designed by nature itself to act in their own best interest in a specific way will always act in their own interest in a certain way. They cannot seriously deviate from it. Which is why in the family that I grew up with, it was very strange to see any of them go into politics.
Do any of you others have any hypotheses or thoughts on the subject?
Not
But
at the
yes.
moment.
What was your impression of him, though? Did he seem like he was withholding too much information for either of you to be comfortable, or was he just odd?
Yeah, so let's get a fresh perspective.
Mhm.
Try to be as uncolored by us as you can.
He knows some things and doesn't know some things. It's strange and convenient at times. So that's why it's really, really hard for me to be on one side of the fence or the other.
He's withholding something.
But it's possible that he has no choice but to withhold it
That's
via
what I'm saying.
controlling him.
Could he
I just
possibly
think
be
it's
giving
the-
us any bad information?
I don't
There
think
is.
my hypothesis on that is he is led by an interest that is going to help us until his interest is fulfilled. So until that point, we are going to get good information. Because it's only going
Yeah.
to help his benefactor.
Yes, Thane makes a good point.
Who?
McNick.
Oh, Mick Mick.
Immersion, please.
Is that all for now?
I am no lord here.
What are your
Everybody?
thoughts, Willow?
That he is untrustworthy and he's obviously holding something back, or he stole our memories and didn't even ask us for permission.
Well, apparently
Yes.
the orb stole the memories, and we freely offered the ball.
But he ate them.
That was unexpected.
Yes, that was.
He did. He ate them.
You may learn to take what he says and does with salt.
Just been wondering if I've been staring at it all these nights, how many memories it's.
Probably every single one of your entire life.
It is very possible that he now has your entire life in his mind.
It's not much, but scary.
That is definitely an upsetting concept, yes.
Is there anything anything you want to give us a heads up on?
Which. About what?
Your
About
life,
any-
anything that he might have gleaned from the orb that us
Is
knowing
of
will only help.
import?
Anything that might possibly maybe sort of become a problem later down the line.
The only thing I know is I was raised by a treant, and there's a blue dragon that visited us, but I don't know who that is.
Okay. So
Thing I was going to try to ask. Oh well. I was going to see if he knew who the blue dragon was, but we can probably find that out when we get to the city.
all things considered, it seems like we both kind of need each other, but it's not exactly sure what he's gonna do with what we do for him.
Exactly. And it could be that he doesn't even know what's going to happen when he gives over the information that he gets.
Well, what do you guys think?
My opinion my opinion on this matter is a moot point. I am bound to assist him.
I see.
So whatever it is that you all decide to do is your business. Aid
Well,
him of your own volition, fair. I am obligated to an extent. And it is a choice that I now do not regret nearly so much. So hopefully he'll have to force me to speak a little bit less. That
You
hurts.
feel the skybike starting to jostle a bit.
Oh,
as you
we've
all
had
are
I
turbulence.
think we're hitting a landing.
coming down out of the clouds and starting to see
Yeah, we're landing.
now a absolutely massive city comprised of what looks to be different sections. There are certain like big fences and gateways that are closing off different sections of this city, but it sprawls for miles and miles and miles. And you see massive ornate towers, and you see wildlands that are filled to the brim with trees and what appear to be life that is teeming throughout the forests there. You also see a very large orb-like structure that is surrounded by water. And you also see another place that has a huge tower that looks like a big eyeball. And it has lightning sparking from it. And as you all are coming down, you also start to see a large cathedral-like building that is black and it is covered in gold as the gold
I
is
spy
starting
the
to,
Orzhov.
and it is surrounded by what you can tell looks like a big spiral of purple and white and blue energy. And as you start to get closer, you see that those look like ghosts. They look like the spirits of people.
That's
And as
Orzhov.
you make your way down, you make a very harsh landing.
Oh! Oh!
Down on all of you, jostle around,
Oh,
and
damn, man!
he comes out and he lifts himself up over the edge of his little cockpit area. All right, you're here in Ravnica.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My guts might still be in the sky, though.
All right. Well, there's the gateway into the city over there.
Thank you.
You all are free to head on out there. I'm gonna head on back to Blind Cairn.
You're very kind, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye
No
bye.
worries.
Thank you.
He gets back in. As you all leap off of this thing, you are now surrounded by huge walls that are, I would say, 100 feet tall, maybe, that are
My
outlining this
goodness.
entire city. And as you start coming up to the gates, you see the man that just drove you. You see him starting to fly away, and you see these huge gates that are about 60 foot tall, that are just standing right in front of you.
It's like the mountains around Iron Falls, except man-made.
I approach the gate.
Do all of you start approaching the gate?
Yeah, I
Yes,
follow.
I follow Moxie.
As you all start approaching the
The
gate,
impetuous one. What the hell?
you
We
see
fight for that position.
you see a large bird creature dive down out of the sky, and this bird is probably 30 feet high as it lands, and its legs go up, and you see it plated in armor with symbols on it. And there's a man that hops off the back of this large beast, and he comes over, wiping off his hands. All right, new people that just got sent to Ravnica. You just got dropped off here.
Yes.
What are you wanting here in Ravnica?
We're here to visit your guilds, actually.
More specifically, to hopefully join
Sure.
one of the guilds.
Is
Myself,
that what all of you are wanting to do?
I myself
Yes.
am curious about the Azorias.
Yeah, the Azorias, definitely.
You see the man go. You see a tear well up in his eye as he goes, admire that. I really do. I myself am part of the Azorius Guild. As he reveals the logo on his shirt, and he goes, all right. Yeah, all right. Azorius, I like your style. The rest of you all, I don't know what guild you're going to choose, but it seems like they got bright future ahead of them.
Azorius as well, sir.
Azorius, almost all around.
That's right.
The Simic, I have a particular connection to the Simic guild myself.
Simic are a bunch of mad scientists trying to reinvent life as we know it. They know.
Oh no, I have an acquaintance who is sending me that way.
What about you, girl?
I choose to join the Selesniers. Is that how you
The
pronounce it?
Selesnias,
Yes.
a bunch of tree huggers.
My kind of people.
That's all that they care about. Hugging trees and picking up animals. Just see what we do to animals? And he points to the large bird creature that's covered in armor. We use them. We
Wow.
use them as weapons of keeping people in line. That's what you should do with an animal.
Not what they're meant for.
Well, you can sit there and hug all the trees you want and pet all the little rabbits that you can, but listen, you all are going to need to learn a few ground rules when you go in there. I would advise that you choose a guild to go to and try to speak to its pay rune if they will even see you, and try to make a good first impression if you're wanting to be here. Try not to stir up any trouble.
We would never dream of stirring up trouble. In fact, we come to warn of it.
Yeah, you and everybody else. All right, let them in. As you see the gates go, and as they start to, you see large trolls that are pushing the gate open with a tourney wheel. As you see the gates, head on in.
Why?
Thank you.
As you start walking into the city of Ravnica, you see its sprawling streets with what seems to be hundreds of people as far as the eye can see, people going abound every which way, bumping into you. It's almost like New York City back before COVID, you know, it's just teeming with people. And
New York
Wow.
City?
they're just kind of pushing you out of the way and trying to get to where they want to be. And right in front of you, you see these pearlescent white, large, almost kind of like a really big courthouse that has huge citadels that are kind of lining it. And as you start to see that, you see these large, they look like
Hold on.
this.
I'm concerned about my daughter. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
He is kicking up a massive fuss, and we have no idea what's going on. So,
All right.
So,
If
is that
anybody
like
needs
a
a break right
griffin
now,
or something?
anybody needs to go and grab a drink, take a bathroom break, anything like that, feel free.
I'm going to walk around a bit. I know. Ugh.
So is
I
that like
shall. I shall also return.
was that like a griffin or something I saw?
It is
It's
This-
like a griffin, but it is not.
like a griffin, but it isn't. It's an archon
Ah.
creature.
Dreamer, you're breathing rather heavy in your mic there.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, it's probably my fan. I wasn't breathing at all.
I think it was the angle you had your head.
Maybe.
All right, we will be right back.
BRB. Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely breathing into your mic.
That is so odd. Okay, I haven't spent all.
Yeah, it was just when you had your head tilted down, I think, was it pressing it closer. That'll do.
Yeah.
I just can't eat.
What you thinking? You having fun? I can't hear you.
There. Yeah, this is fun. I'm definitely having some deer in a headlight moments because I don't know how to D&D, but and like I said last, I'm still I guess maybe figuring out everything I can do, but it's just. I mean, the reason this campaign is as good as it is because it's like such a fleshed out world. Like you realize that, right? Because if it wasn't like as fleshed out as you've made it, like this would honestly be really, really fucking boring. Like I've had friends that play D&D and they've always told me that basically it's as fun as the DM makes it.
Pretty much.
So this is a very fun campaign, so I'm having tons of fun.
Good. As long as you're having fun. My wife is just like you right now. She's trying to learn.
Yeah. The voices, you do the fucking voices and they're so good. I love them, dude.
What were you saying, baby?
Uh-oh.
So I just have to get over the.
Yeah.
Because I don't really talk to a lot of people like ever.
You'll get there. It's a new group of people for you, and you just gotta get more comfortable. You'll get there.
I would like to know though, like character or whatever.
Okay.
The orb.
Yeah.
Has that orb been collecting my memories?
I'm not gonna tell you
Okay,
anything.
then see if you can answer this one. Has it erased some of my memories? Is that why my memories of my childhood are so
I can't tell you anything like that.
That's something you got to find out in character.
Because my memories as a child are all, dancing in the fields and stuff like that, but there's something with that.
I don't know. I can't tell you anything. It's like I told them, I ain't telling you shit.
Mm-hmm.
Your hex impression, your hex voice, it went back into Beetlejuice so many
I was
times.
thinking that too.
I loved it.
I based his voice kind of on like a Beetlejuice-esque type of character.
I was expecting
And
to be like
his character on Hades, it
It's
would seem.
showtime.
When you started doing the puppet thing, I was like, oh my god, that's totally Beetlejuice.
My wife and I love Beetlejuice.
It's a great
That's the
movie.
Hades thing. It's like Hades mixed with Rasputin with Beetlejuice's voice is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I also took you make a good point there, Tol. I took a lot of cues from Hades, from Disney, the Hercules.
Yes.
I took a lot of cues. Moxie, focus your camera, please.
I don't know how to make it do that, unfortunately.
Oh.
Like this,
It's all
you go
like-
whoop, and
it's all
then
like blurry bad. But
No, I'm blurry.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I did like I wanted him to be a lot like Hades, kind of, but also a very have his moments where he's very dark.
Now, I'll tell you this, Mr. Dreamer, Mr. Draxus, when he does a voice for a character, he's not doing a voice for a character.
No,
He is that character. Like, he's not doing a voice for Hex. And in
Yeah.
those moments, he's Hex.
They're like,
I
He's
know.
He's not Justin anymore. He's fucking Hex.
Yes, he just.
And I find that
new
so
identity.
impressive.
Oh, absolutely, dude. It's awesome.
weird.
So I
You have a
can't see- I
bigger
can't see
screen.
him walking.
Fun fact.
I mean, I was
He's
just-
actually he's got a minor role, a couple of minor roles in the video that's going live tomorrow on our main channel on YouTube, Geeks Actively Making Entertainment, if you're not aware. And even though he just did a couple of voices and they're not even in English, he did really well.
So like this is all I'm seeing constantly, and then half. I see Rob. Can't see anyone else.
That is weird.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see like any of you guys the whole stream except for Rob. So.
Huh.
Very strange.
That's your name.
A
Okay.
really large screen. Don't understand.
Can't see anyone but Justin, Rob, and then this board.
What were y'all talking about?
Plus-
The
What's
That's what I'm doing here.
Okay.
What were y'all talking about? Game?
I was telling Rob here how the characters in our new video coming out tomorrow, the ones that you voiced, even though they're not speaking English, you sold them really freaking well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
While we were talking about how you just embody a character whenever you do a voice.
I don't know. I've always liked doing voices. Ever since I was a kid, my mom would get on to me because Sarah's heard this story 100,000 times, but I would sit in front of like to kind of give my age a little bit, but you all remember like the really 90s Nickelodeon cartoons, like the claymation nick and everything.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So I would be watching shit like that, and then I would sit there and I would start repeating what characters were doing, like different voices. And then I would do that with family members because I started to see that I could mimic some of my family members, and then they would get really, really mad at me. And my mom, still to this day, does she not? Every time that I start doing a voice, what does she do?
Oh, stop! Shut up! Stop doing that!
Yeah, she would be like, "Why are you doing that?
Why are you
making that
always
voice?
giving voices?
Why are you always doing a voice?"
Why you always?
And I'm like, because one day it'll pay for the bills. But, you know, it's just...
Next time she does that, you should just be like, God, Mom, you don't get it, okay? This is just who I am, all right? God.
I will show you all one mini that I plan on using. I'll show you a hint of it. Wah, shoo, wah. That's all you
Hey,
get.
we don't have a treant mini, do we?
No, we do not have a tree.
So this has been sitting next to me the whole time. Can you see it?
That's gonna be our tree mini. That's what we'll use.
We can all fit in here.
Yeah, we'll use that, baby.
By the way, Moxie, Izzy, Calimax, Mary, whatever you want to be called, you can probably replace that picture with the one that I sent you. When you download it, you just go and change the properties to the new file path. Since it's the same size, it should go into the same orientation.
Yeah, let me make sure that I've saved the correct one. Like, because I need
It's the
to
one
make
I
sure
sent you in the
that-
DM.
I am
It should
aware.
be.
I'm just trying to make sure
Oh my God!
that
You're in focus.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is everything okay with your kindling?
She has a mild fever and she's got
Did-
some sniffles, but she's okay. She was just crying and fussy because she needed Tylenol and she needed some Vicks on the end of her little nose.
Oh, well, it is allergy season, so
Did you just
Probably just
refer to their?
allergies.
Did you just refer to their child as a form of fire starter? Kindling.
kindling is also, I believe it's either, I think it's a Jewish
It is.
word
It is
for children,
for a tiny tot.
for a tiny, tiny child.
But also a form of fire starter.
But it is also like tinder. Yes, it is a form of fire starter. That is true. But so is everybody having good session so far? Everybody liking where it's going, where it's headed?
Yep.
There we go. That's better. Thank
kinda-
you, Toll.
We're kind of starting to get everybody on the same page in general and whatnot.
I thought I'd put a little glow on it too.
Just so everyone who sees this is aware, yes, I did just change the image and only one thing changed, which was Moxie's eyes, because Toll so very kindly altered the image slightly for me so it was more accurate. Because Moxie's eyes are blue!
Did I get the color right? I was kind of estimating.
Yes,
here.
you did. You
Okay,
did.
cool.
Because that's the reason I have this particular color of dice on the dice rolling app.
So are we back?
We are back.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're still live.
I,
Yay,
I
all
don't-
right,
we've
we're
never
back,
stopped
everybody.
being live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
someone did. Someone forgot to put up the BRB screen.
Oh, gotcha.
it was kind of a move quickly because my daughter is screaming and clearly in pain. Which, yeah, her molars are
I
coming
filled
in.
everyone in.
Probably just allergies and teeth.
Yeah, her molars are cutting, so she's not happy.
Yeah,
We got
that's
so
natural.
lucky. My daughter had a full mouth of teeth before we even knew she was teething.
That's
Mine
natural.
started teething. Mine started teething at like 3 to 4 months old. Got her first 2 teeth at like 4 months old, and has been teething ever since.
So,
All right, well, yeah, we
where
can
were we?
continue.
Ravnica!
We had just found, I think, the Azorius Citadel.
Had we? I
Yes.
thought we had just gotten into the gates.
Yes, but we
You
were
did, but you also
described
just
a
now-
building.
I described.
Oh, yes, with the. You were showing us the figure.
the palace-like building that had these flying around and landing into it.
I keep wanting to put something up behind your figures to help your camera focus for you.
That's the best I got there, buddy. Hang on.
Mm.
No, that's not the best I got. I could try this.
Ooh, light. Put it on the stage.
Yeah.
That
There we
works very well, yeah.
That is so much better. Also, the light looks good on you on your main cam.
Yeah, it actually does help out your main cam as well.
Does it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can see it now?
I also see Skeletor.
Well,
Yes,
it's not.
you,
It's actually-
He-Man!
It's just a guy, but I guess his paint detail is a little...
Green.
I am Skeletor, Overlord of Evil.
Skeletor, yes.
Okay, so you all were seeing what is, yes, described. It is the Azorius courtroom. It is the Azorius palace, yes.
Yes.
Do we dare enter now?
Yes.
Is that where
Despite-
you all want to go first, or do you want to go to where the Selesnya are? Do you want to go to where the Simic are?
Let's go
Do
to
you
the
want to go to any other
Azorius
guild?
first.
What do you want to do?
Well, whatever we
Uh,
do, remember we need to stay together.
Yes.
Yes.
Uncomfortable
Thank you for
as
that.
the Azorius, as uncomfortable as the Azorius make me, and they do greatly. It
Why?
seems the majority. I am not a fan of those who throw around rude names for others that do not agree with their views. Perhaps the guard at the gate was an outlier. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm
I
hoping
must
the
have
rest of them are
missed that. Unless I would have said something. I apologize.
Again, I'm hoping that's just a bad first impression and my next impression will be a bit better. But I also struggle with those in power quite frequently.
Fair
But
reasons.
seeing as most of you seem to wish to see the Azorius, I will suffer.
I
don't care.
only wish to see the Azorius because they are the strength of the land. That is the only reason. So if we do get into
They are
trouble,
the
we have that
law.
on our side.
They are the law. They may not be the strength, but they are the law.
Now,
And
there's a
who?
fine difference between what you are seeing as they are the most powerful. That's not necessarily true. Each guild has their own strength. It's
Oh.
just that the Azorius are basically the police and the courts of Ravnica.
And who better to bring word of a threat to? That's my reasoning.
However, the other guilds each have their own strengths about them. So it's really just a choice of what you want to do.
Yeah, and there's no saying that we have to
Or-
join any particular guild.
Or
It
I
has
can do it
actually
in
been
a different way.
advised that we do.
Oh, no.
If there are any of you that are unsure of what guild that you would like to join, I have another way. that I got inspired from to do something else. So it's up to you.
I think we're all very curious what that other way is.
I'm extremely
You will
curious
have to
about that.
ask about it.
Let us allow our glorious god of dice to have his way.
That'll be interesting. Are there any of you that are like sold on a particular before I put this into the game?
Moxie, I
Because
must
it's
say,
in
I
the
was.
game, but it's since you all were so like gung ho about certain things, I didn't know if I should bring it up, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway.
I mean,
If I may?
Yeah.
Moxie, I was really thinking that bringing our attention to the law of the land would be the way to go with this, but if you're so uncomfortable, perhaps we could look into another alternative.
Mine has to do with my upbringing. It is just a natural thing in me to both abide the law but run away from it. That is a personal problem. Not to mention, Elenon is of the Simic Guild, and I have her book. I have a very particular reason to wish to go there, and simply the guard at the gate being of Azorius gave me a very bad first impression of them.
I certainly can't put myself under someone who would slight my friend in such a way. I apologize again for not noticing it. So, let's see what else we can find.
The guard was throwing around a couple different phrases.
I was distracted because I was trying to make her a face.
Calling Willow tree hugger
And mad scientists are the
mad
Simic,
scientists.
and
Meanwhile, our frozen tundra wasteland backwoods monk was just admiring the gates.
It's the first time that you've seen anything, well, really,
This ornate.
any of you that have seen anything this ornate before.
So in case you didn't figure by what I was saying there, I was trying to give you an open in character for us to look for this alternative.
I would assume, Willow, you're pretty much sold on yours.
Well, here's the thing: is yes, but also if the whole group decides to go with this mysterious guild, basically it's a means to an end for me.
It's not a mysterious guild. It's a way that you all will get assigned a guild.
Oh.
I mean, it would be interesting, even if it only happens for part of the party. I still say it would be interesting because it seems as though Moxie bringing attention to the fact of, are all Azorius really that judgmental and outwardly rude to new people about disparaging other guilds? That seems to have thrown up some doubt as to whether or not this needs to be the first place we go.
Yeah.
Was not my intention. Was not my intention, but it seems to be what has happened.
Well, the first place we do need to go is wherever we can warn people about the impending threat of the dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
First order of business. So I think maybe since the Azorius are the law of the land, even if we don't walk in to join the guild right now, we could at least go to tell them, about the dragon.
Provided
Or
we
find
can
out
even
who to talk
get
to.
an audience.
But the other problem is that we are in a city that seems to revolve around guilds. We are currently just outsiders looking in. We may need to make this decision rather swiftly, such that when we enter, whether we are of their guild or not, they will at least not view us as
Outsiders.
lunatics walking into their city spouting Lord knows what kind of apocalyptic prophecies.
Also valid.
Though that apparently is exactly what we are.
That is exactly what we are. We are a bunch of lunatics spouting the end of the world.
But we are lunatics that need credibility.
We lack credibility. So that
To
is
get
what we need.
credibility, we need a guild behind us. Question is, which one?
I
And
say
it
we.
may not. It
I say
may
we-
not all
oh,
be the
sorry.
same one either. Is the other interesting thing.
Weren't we advised to not do that?
We were
We were
advised to
advised
visit
to-
them all.
If
Oh,
I may,
yeah.
because this is an interesting village, unlike any of the others. You can all side with one particular one. However, you may find that there are greater boons to each of you choosing a different one.
I'll still stick with what's new.
Simic
sort of
seems
having
to
an inn everywhere.
have a variety.
It's like those
To
games where you
our
collect
So
8,000
it
characters
seems
because each of
like
them has something in one
Moxie is
spot.
pretty well set on Simic. Willow's pretty well set on Selesnya, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And that leaves the three of you trying to decide what you want to do, or I can do it a different way.
I mean, I'm a little more iffy about the Azorius. I like the idea about siding with the Peacekeepers. I think the character is for that until he saw until he was alerted to how they were treating his friends. So if I went that way, I would probably get at odds with them trying to defend people.
The one
Over table, something that I might impart, just as an opinion that I have. If Kai is not leaning towards Azorius, I think the other place that he might lean in his defense of the helpless and voice of the people is Boros.
Boros, why do I not have that on my list?
The Boros, yes, they are very much law keepers. However, they are also the ones that are quickest to war.
That is also the other thing.
That's the downside.
Selesnya
They are
being quite
basically the war band of the city of Ravnica.
they are basically the military, where the
Yes.
Azorius are the local enforcers of law. The soldiers are in Boros.
Yes.
Then you have a bunch of madcap, almost Bacchian, Dionysian, Rakdos people. Then you have Simic, who are a bunch of strange eugenics biologists. You have Izzet, who are a bunch of tinkerers with all their cute little trinkets and machines and generators, headed by a dragon, no less. You have Orzov, who lots of undead, lots and lots and lots of undead.
Undead.
Vampires.
All I got from that was they were all about making money.
Well, this is over table knowledge.
Oh.
This is over table knowledge that I am saying simply to be saying it, essentially. No one is really mentioning Golgari because I really sincerely doubt anyone's going to choose to be a sewer-dwelling mushroom collector.
Yeah, especially since
Essentially.
Nab isn't here anymore.
Oh goodness, I forgot about that.
Would
Yes.
be interesting.
That would be.
No, I'm talking about for my wife, because she's a druid, and there is a druidic path that does have to do with fungus.
That is true.
Hmm.
They deal a lot with the dead, though. The Golgari, don't they?
They do. They deal a lot with dead things, but they think that death is another means to life.
Well, I mean, death is a part of life. It is part of the cycle,
No,
so
but
yes.
they believe that death is the beginning of the true way of life.
Oh, that might somewhat conflict then with her personal sensibilities in terms of her druidic path.
I was just saying that there is a druidic path that would be interesting.
None of us here is likely to end up in Demir. I will simply say it that way. I doubt any of us is going to end up in Demir.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that. No.
Okay, so at the moment it sounds like Azorius is the way for me, and I may have to be a voice of reason against bigotry.
Well,
It could also just be like with any other police force. You have your bigots and your racists and your generally not pleasant folk. And then you have the people who are upstanding, like, paragons of the way, so to speak. Like, you have good cops, you have bad cops, as we have today. You know, you have the officers who do as they're supposed to, and then you have the ones who don't. Same thing with everywhere else that you have law enforcement.
I will still join Azorius out of basically as a means to an end.
Are you sure? Because you seem to me a lot more inclined toward probably Orzov.
The one time this entire campaign I did keep my mouth shut was when the guard was being nasty. So
Which was wise. That's
I'll
very wise.
I don't know. I would want to personally. I'll join Azorius just as a way to, get us out of there as quick as possible. Just complete the mission and whatnot.
Well, just because you go there doesn't mean you're joining them. Like, I'll talk us in as a prospective recruit and join if it seems like the place for me to be a part of. I mean, that's enough. You can make a different decision.
Do you think maybe lose more influence?
The problem that I see, the problem that I see with Draxus joining Azorius is you are a little too quick to fly off with your mouth. In general, you get hot under the collar very, very quickly. Your temper does not lend well to you being a peacekeeper.
They'd throw you to Boros, if anything.
Or, worse yet, they may just tell you directly to go elsewhere and hint at Rakdos.
Who are the mushroom guys that play with dead stuff? They sound like they're kind of far out of this and having fun doing their own thing.
So, this is still all over the table knowledge, for the record. Orzhov don't just deal in coin. Lots of things that are Orzhov are usually vampire related or otherwise considered undead.
Oh, that's right. We don't know that in the game. That's right.
No. That's why I keep reminding you this is over-the-table knowledge, simply for edification purposes, to think about what your character might question in-game. Basically, this is things for you to start wondering, would your character align this way, or would they align another? And the difference
got me wondering
between...
if we have a way of learning about the game.
It is possible. It is very possible. The difference between the color difference between Rakdos and Orzhov is red and white. And as you are probably learning from your forays into magic, new as you are, red is more violent than white. White is usually more of like gaining life and healing spells, etc. And that mixed with white usually does things like undead, like vampires. Most vampires are black or black-white. Rakdos things are usually more like the creatures themselves, not the people in the guild, but the creatures you see are more demons, etc. Things that cause a lot of damage.
They do have the violence in the carnival.
Yes, and actually...
They have violins in the carnival? Oh, let's go see.
Yes, let's go see the violins in the carnival.
Truthfully, again,
come see the
more
violence
insight.
inherent in the system. Or violence inherent in the system?
Violins! Yes, I love music.
Again, more over-the-table insight into your character. Drow are not known to be particularly peaceful things either, and have a tendency towards hedonism. You might start thinking more about your character's possible interests and motivations and what they might be inclined towards as just inherent nature of what you are. You are not human. You were raised by humans, but you are not human. There's a certain amount of that holds. So you have some introspection to do about your character at some given point.
I remember that the Rakdos have the violence in the carnivals now, and
yes.
I think I
so
might go
you
to.
are.
I think I might go to the violence in the carnivals.
I mean, it does suit your race quite avidly. Just don't get too lost.
Yeah, and I won't cause problems. I'll watch the violence. I won't engage in it.
Sure you won't.
I'll live vicariously.
Nick, what are you starting to think?
I think the on-the-fence approach is for me, because I really can't decide.
All right.
So I'm going to be the guinea pig for you guys.
Okay, so sound off. What is everybody wanting to do real quick? Let's start with Rob.
Rakdos.
Azorius?
And then Simic.
Lesnia, and then Mick does not know, right?
McDick is stuck.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Undecided.
I have it. All right. Continue on with what you want to do.
So where do we wish to go first? We are here at Azorius, and we have one willing participant for Azorius currently.
Let's all go in.
Do we all wish to go in, or do we wish to send him off by himself?
We're
More people
not
keep
separating.
Bumping into you all as you're sitting there trying to talk.
We
Let's
are
get
not
out of the street.
separating.
Yes, let's all go
inside.
in for now.
Let's all get out of the street.
That
You
way
all
it's not
walk
getting
up.
bruised.
To the Azorius chambers, and the doors are wide open. And you see what appear to be officers walking in and out, and people that are carrying satchels that have tomes in them and things like that going in. And as you start to come in, you are greeted with a large desk and 2 doorways that are blocking your entry point. And there is somebody sitting there with quill and parchment, sitting there just writing. And they have glasses on, as they have this large azure coat, just like all the other Azorius members are wearing. Their colors are very much... Let me try to give you a general concept of their garb and outfit. Azorius. No.
Every time you mention that guild's name, I think Age of Aquarius.
Very much that.
This
That's
is
what
the
you're looking
dawning of the Age of Aquarius.
Okay. So,
Age
you
of
see this person just...
Aquarius.
Excuse me, good steward.
Yes.
Yes. We had some questions about our friend here has expressed
One
interest
moment.
in.
You see a bird land on his shoulder and start... He
How
picks up the
fascinating.
bird and says, "Yes, I'll send someone up to do that. Yes, very well." And the bird takes off.
Fascinating.
Yes, it was. I had a cold. Yes, I got the cold. I just finished it. What were you?
Hi.
I was seeking to join your guild.
Oh, okay. Did you make an appointment?
What's an appointment?
An appointment to meet with any of the pay runes or any of the judiciary or legislative communities of the columns and the branch?
Then no.
We've
wanting
just arrived in the
to-
city.
Are you wanting to be a part of the lave column? Is that what you're here for?
Column?
What are you wanting to do, boy? The time is very much of the essence. I
Well,
have very many appointments to do. If you're wanting to make an appointment, I can make you one. The closest one that I would
I'm wanting
have-
to warn the city of a danger to the land.
Oh, of course. Yes. Then I can schedule you for an appointment. Looks like 1 week in advance.
No, that won't work. It has to be as soon as possible. The Herald is on his way to the city now. He's going to release the Cinder
Mr.
Flame.
Is that a Mr. Harold? A Mr. Harold?
Oh,
No, it's a dragon.
Hi. Mercy. Oh, please let this
Can
be
I
good.
Mr.
speak
Harold
to the person in
wants
charge,
to
Oh,
please?
thank
speak.
God.
Is it the Mr. Harold that wants to speak, or is it you that wants to
Kai.
speak? Who is wanting to speak? Who's wanting to make this appointment?
Is there someone more important than you
I-
that I can talk to?
I firmly put my hands down on the desk and I say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. He is having some trouble with words today. He is interested in joining your guild, but we also have some rather urgent information that needs to get past this desk."
Urgent information.
Urgent as in it can in fact destroy the city the minute it gets here.
Mm.
The entire city leveled to nothing. We're trying to warn of it.
And
We also do have a prospective initiate. So what is the soonest you can get our initiate started?
the rest of your group can back up these claims. These are quite large claims.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes,
Yes.
it is very true.
Glimmerberry or Shimmerberry has just
Shimmerberry.
been attacked by dragons.
I've
Strange
seen
brewings have been happening.
Timbervale. I've seen Timbervale utterly besieged by a singular gold dragon who proceeded to spew molten gold upon the populace. I also saw a very large spined black dragon known only as the Herald, spelled Herald, the Herald.
The Herald, not a Mr. Herald, right?
The Herald.
As they quickly start jotting that down.
Yes. He destroyed another village of unknown name. Just reduced it to ash around me as I saw it.
We encountered and took care of an agent of his who told us that he was sending agents to attack every major city on the continent. We came here to warn as soon as we could.
Okay. Now, the best that I could do is maybe I could. I could check the schedule. I don't know if we could get a court in session today.
The soonest day that you can.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can get a hold of somebody. Okay. Can I do that?
Please
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You must have a very difficult job dealing with all of these papers and all of these calls every day.
Oh, I do. Oh, I really do. Yeah, Congress is very much, very much busy all the time, and kind of they are doing their own thing, you know. Yeah. Okay.
I slide 2 gold across the table and I say, "Blessings and a stress-free day upon you. Thank you so much."
Are you just giving this, or is this a bribe?
I am giving this an appreciation for your sense of urgency.
Because bribing an officer is against the law. I just wanted you to know that. However, I am not an officer, but I will accept this because I'm not an officer. However, I am a secretary of the Congress, and I can say thank you. I will take this as she just. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Now, what I can do is I can try to get a hold of somebody for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You see one of the other birds land back on their shoulder, and they. Okay. So we have somebody, a group of people. What are you all called?
The voice of reason.
I suppose I forgot about that.
Oh, sugar.
Are you sure you want to go with that? Is that what you're going with? The voice of reason?
Yes.
That is what we used before, but that's only the one town that knows that. So, Overtable, do we want to come up with something better?
Yes.
We
I
are.
don't know.
Do
I don't
we
know what to come up with. Were we
actually
a band?
have anything better?
I want you all to know that I'm really trying to make this woman like a secretary out of.
Oh, you're doing a great job. You're doing
Yeah.
a
There's a
fantastic
reason
job.
I want them to be very.
Micknick
difficult to
is having bureaucratic PTSD from living in
I'm
Iron
having
Falls.
literal PTSD. I'm ex-military, all right? There's a reason I stopped talking.
Yeah. Oh, this
No,
is
it is more. We are the League for the Destruction of the Cinder Flame.
Okay. That's
Okay,
very.
that's good.
That is very. It's like it presents everything ominously and like says we're gonna do something about it. So I like.
Okay, so is that an acronym? That's a lot of words.
God.
It's a lot of words. I have to fit it onto this small piece of paper here. So that's a lot of words.
Destruction.
Are you
We are
wanting
the
an acronym?
LTC.
The LTC.
D, as in Delta.
The LTD.
LDC.
The LCB, right? Is
I
that what you
then
said?
I then take out a piece of parchment and I very clearly write and hand it to her.
So it's LTD. What is this? Say it one more time.
L
Into the bird.
L as in lady,
Uh-huh.
D as in delta, C as in coal.
Okay, so we have the LDC here. That sounds very important. Yeah, it's an acronym. Of course it's important. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Toll. I'm really sorry.
They'll see you in 2 hours. We can get
Ew.
a some kind of court session. And hang on, wait. Uh-huh. Okay. Actually, there is somebody that would like to speak with you. That is a part of the magistrate.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So I will also get you all back down for a second visit to discuss any other further life-threatening matters or anything like that. I'll get you on the schedule, and the furthest thing that I have out is a month. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that down. Okay.
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 Okay. Okay.
Thank you. What was your name again?
I am Lofi.
Thank you, Lofi.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lofi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
An absolute pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
goodness.
And she opens the door, and the right door goes.
Through the door we go. I usher Kai through first and get everybody moving.
As you all come into this
Trust
long
me,
hallway,
you don't have to hurry me at all.
as you all come through this long hallway, you see a huge courtroom that is very circular, and it goes up the entire way of the citadel. And you are seeing marbled whites and blues that are just going through the entirety of the stonework that is around you. And you see seats, rows of seats that line it, kind of like in
The Council of Ricks.
kind of like the Council of Ricks, but I was also more along the lines thinking of the Senate from Star Wars. When
The color
when
scheme is
Emperor
what got me
Palpatine
to-
is talking with like Jar Jar Binks, and they're floating on the thing, and there's that huge stadium. That's kind of what you are seeing, but it's raised up by a lot. And then there are big seats and desks that are up above you, probably about 40 feet high, and the rest of the chairs are going down like this. And then you see a very well-dressed man come up to you. Okay, I am Magistrate Orgon, and I will be seeing to your matter at hand. Are you wishing to speak with anyone in particular?
No. We simply need this as far up as it can go. Like, we need this to get as far and as wide as we can.
You're wanting to speak with our pay room?
That would be most agreeable.
Or at least for the information to reach them.
Yes, that as well.
Oh.
My patience runs thin, apparently.
Okay. So what I can do for you? He starts checking through a log.
Yeah, what you're doing right now is almost, I'm picturing him.
What?
Oh, God. Nothing. Nothing important.
Who? What?
Nothing important. Keep going.
What did you say?
I said what you're physically doing is what I was picturing him doing.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing.
Okay.
Okay. What I can do for you, I can get
Oh, God.
a court meeting starting to be set up. Okay. But if you are wanting to speak with our payroon, now that I can talk with her and see if she can actually talk to you right now.
To impress upon you the severity of the situation, and I really must impress upon it, there is a horde of dragons coming to sack your city and raze it to the ground.
And Asperia rarely sees anybody, and I can try and talk with her and see what she can do.
This is more important than your council sessions. I had a vision of the city burned to the ground, Ravnica in ruin, the pay runes all dead.
You see people starting to come into the courtroom and taking seats. We are actually about to have a hearing, so I can try and get Asperia to talk with you. The court is gonna be here, so yeah.
Is there anyone else in the city who would be willing to hear our message outside of the guild? This particular guild.
Do you all have any concrete evidence of your claims?
I pull out a shard of dragonhorn. Is this enough?
I don't know if you are aware, but there is a dragon that runs a guild here, and he is a Faerun. So a dragon horn is not really going to hold much weight in court. Okay? Okay.
As I
further
notice,
claims?
we have seen the resurrection of an enormous black dragon called the Herald, who precedes the Cinder Flame.
And the person who took him, or who revived him, was the Mikage Sujiro.
If you are aware of who that is.
And I pull out a red coin, add one of these from our visit with him.
Mikage Sujiro, he's a very big proponent here, yeah. He's a good guy. He is
trying to destroy the world.
He used us to procure an item which resurrected the Herald.
You see that
and
he is writing everything that you're saying down as he's looking at you.
Okay, resurrected the Herald for the Cinder Flame, otherwise known as Sharlock. Obviously, you have no interest in what we're saying, so if there is no one else here that we can speak
This is
with...
for Asperia. I'm going to send this to Asperia. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. He walks off, and then you hear a loud, booming voice coming down from the courtroom. I will hear them.
Right. Let's go.
Oh my heavens.
Okay.
What was that?
Okay, Asperia said she wants to see you now.
Yeah, we noticed.
So, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to take you there. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'd like that. Thank you.
Most agreeable. Thank you.
You all go into what looks to be some kind of it's an elevator, and it's taking you all the way up to the top, and you go up top.
So many
to the
fanciful
very
devices.
top of the Azorius's citadel, the courtroom, and you see a huge sphinx adorned in. Let me try to get a picture of her.
I am familiar with what sphinxes look like. That is a magnificent thing.
I feel like I've seen this in real life.
Let me get a good picture.
Throughout that entire thing, every low roll that I had was her trying to speak and then faltering because it's like, my patience will not let me speak. Because I have no patience, because secretaries and scribes and stewards.
Is everyone in this building so very mousy and indecisive?
I
They
think
seem
You
to
see
That
how
is very
large
nice.
she is?
Yes!
Okay.
Oh my god.
That
Sphinxes
kind of
are
overrides
huge.
the mousy and indecisive annoying.
Big.
Sphinxes are enormous
She's huge.
and majestic. Must not forget, most, if not all, sphinxes are very majestic looking. They are beautiful.
And then you all come out there and you see that she is just towering over each and every single thing in its vicinity as her wings wrap down and around her almost like a cloak. And then you just see her face that is very stoic. How can I help you?
We're here to convey what we have seen as an imminent threat upon the city.
Speak your claim.
We are known as the League for the Destruction of the Cinder Flame, with good reason. Mikage Sujiro used us in a ritual to resurrect the Herald, who is now procuring the Court of Cinders and destroying cities across the land.
These are very large claims.
I am not the only one who has seen this.
We just barely managed to stop an attack on Shimmerberry.
I also mean about the Mikage Sujiro. He is a very big proprietor of the majority of Ravnica.
Yes,
He
I imagine
donates
so.
a lot of money to charitable causes.
And what better way to make the world deem you not suspicious?
We saw him complete the ritual
What I
that
can do
resurrected him.
is I will set up a court case for you all right now, and the Azoria Senate will hear your case, and we will deem it to be worthy or not.
The Herald
My
and
word
his
is
forces
law.
are on his way here right now.
These
He doesn't
are
have time for the
rules.
bureaucracy.
These are the laws of our people.
We must abide the law if we are to make this happen.
If you
Not
wish
everything
to
can be
get
done chaotically.
a bigger claim, I would advise trying to persuade the rest of the pay rooms within the city of Ravnica.
Very well.
We shall. We simply wish to convey that this city is a very large target for the court. The Mikage is not of consequence now. There is no need to further involve anything to do with him. He is simply the one who started us on this.
And we will
That is
go
all.
to whatever lengths it takes in order to convey the severity and immediacy of this threat to the city.
The other two in your group are being very quiet. I wish to hear your sides of this tale as well.
I have not been journeying with my friends for very long, but the things that I have seen in my short tenure with them are to be.
Your word will be taken into account. What of you, young Fearbolg?
I would agree. The things that have happened to me are very strange. Should have answers.
Interesting. She then waves her, like a bit of her feather, and you all drop down, and you are in, you know, in a courtroom, the little, like, defense box
Annex.
and stuff. Yeah, that's what you all are in right now. And you see that the entire courtroom is filled with people, and there are judges that are starting to come out.
No.
Over the table, this is reminding me of the fifth Harry Potter with Dumbledore.
It's a
Dumbledore and
lot
the Ministry
like
of Magic, yeah.
It's a lot like that, yeah. Hey, I didn't make the Azoria Senate, but there's a lot of similarities there.
At least there's no umbrage.
Yet.
You see a few different people come out that are very well dressed in judge robes, very council-like, those white and blue colors, and they
I'll
say,
be suspicious of pink.
"Welcome. We are going to hear out the case of the LDC. Court is now in session." As the gavels all go down simultaneously. You may be seated. All rise for the one that will be presiding over today's hearings. He has also been accused of some things. Lord Mikage Sujiro. You then see out of one of the hallways going toward one of the judge seats, a large, very well dressed with black and silver and gold embroidery going down with a huge band of a collar going up, very dead vampire skin and a large beard and goatee that comes down to here. And he has glasses on that he pushes up as he sits. Now we will hear the case of the LDC.
I will speak.
Yeah.
Fine by me.
Everyone who will hear this, say aye. You hear everyone say aye, 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 aye. Very well. Let the record show that the LDC came here by their own accord, spouting many claims. Claims of how I am a bad man, and how there is supposedly a large creature and army coming here to the fair city of Ravnica, that I have pledged my allegiance with the pay runes for many generations. We will hear their case. LDC, plead your case to this courtroom now.
You got this, Moxie.
Several of us, myself and 2 of my colleagues, have seen firsthand the destruction of many cities in this land at the claws and maws of a group of dragons known as the Court of Cinders. We thwarted a plot in Shimmerberry.
Nonsense! Those are fairy tales. Those are not to be believed.
We killed a green dragon in the hold, in the keep of the Mother Tree, claiming to be aligned with the Cinder Flame.
Moxie, the skin.
Exhibit A. Part of her skin, the dragon's name was Asion.
You hear murmuring.
She attempted to poison the Mother Tree and failed, courtesy of us.
Very well. Do you have any more evidence to back up your claim?
If you need to see memories, I am willing to show you what I have seen. A golden dragon named Midas has since overtaken Timbervale, spewed molten gold across it, and made the large central tree into his throne. The Herald himself destroyed another rather large town and simply razed it to the ground, proclaiming...
Have any of your other compatriots seen these firsthand?
Yes.
What did you
Yes.
see of Ravnica? Tell them. Tell them what you've seen of Ravnica. What happens to it?
I had a vision of Ravnica in the future. Burned to the ground. Hay runes all destroyed. Every guild burned. As the herald flew over the landscape and the cinder flame reared his head.
What of the small one? The halfling?
I saw iron flames under attack.
Iron Falls.
Iron Falls.
From there.
Yes, and brain.
The stress of Cord.
I saw Iron Falls under attack. Buildings burning to the ground. A dragon in the air.
Beerbold, the woman. Have you seen these things firsthand as well?
I have not seen anything firsthand, but the adjacent forest to mine was set ablaze by a blue dragon.
Very big claims by the four of you. What of you, Drow?
I personally have not seen any of the dragons, but that is because I joined my friends after they had done so. The things
It
that we had been
is
through.
Interesting. You call yourselves the LBC. However, one of your compatriots has not seen anything. This has been for naught. Their words are not to be trusted.
The only
For the
reason for
sole
that,
purpose that they have not all seen these claims are not
Mighty
coming
quick to
together.
dismiss the claims, are we?
The claims are not valid. Your entire group claims to be these
tried,
cinder flame
and
destroyers,
I can't.
in which
And
there is no other one of you that has seen a dragon.
He
I
would
then
dismiss
scream.
4 of us for one's lack of experience.
I then scream for the high heavens to hear, and yet 3 of us saw you complete the ritual that summoned the herald in the first place.
We
You hear
cannot
people
be
go,
too late. The chamber must be assembled.
We've seen you with our own eyes, and if you need further insight into our minds to do so, by all means, you have access to mine. I will not be called a liar. I will not have my integrity questioned and at the hands of you, my lord
Very
Mikage.
well. You wish for your thoughts to be seen. Your memories, correct?
Yes.
Let
Doesn't seem like a bad
her do it. You see people bringing out what seems to be some kind of machine, and then you see one of the men that is pushing it. You see his long fingers, and you see his hunched back as he is pushing this cart over, and he wraps his spindly fingers around Moxie's head as he plugs this device directly onto her head. And then you see a projection go onto the wall of her memories. Your memories will be
Fair price. Think
as
about
he
the summoning,
walks
think
off
about
and
the
he
summoning.
flips the switch.
Think
You
about
see
the summoning.
almost like a reel start playing back memories of you all going to Timbervale. And as you all are going to Timbervale, you see Leon, and he is setting something on fire. And you see flames going up, and each of you are laughing. And you see the police coming and taking you and throwing you into jail.
What are
Until
these? These are not her
the-
memories.
Until the
This.
Mikage comes in, and you see him bowing and saying different things, and then you all are released, and he takes a humble bow in this memory, and you all go off, and you are seeing what appears to be a dragon coming out of the sky, and it is merely children putting off giant fireworks that take the shape of dragons. It would appear as if your memories are incorrect.
That is an 18 on dice for. Would that be a will check to ensure that it is my memories coming through the machine?
It would be, yes.
So that's what I was trying to. I knew what I was trying to roll for. I just did not know which thing it was supposed to go with. So will save minimum +1. That's a minimum of a 19 to override it essentially.
You
No.
feel the
Think.
will of your energy trying to get across this, and a spark of something, of a memory, it flashes very quickly of the three daughters. Zoop, zoop. Mikage Sujiro, wasn't that your three daughters? Yes. When I
It's a 15
rescued
again.
them, I took them in. I fed them. I gave them shelter. They were so scared and
The
frightened
skull. Think
by
about the dragon
these
skull.
events. They obviously, their minds are not all together. They see fireworks. They think it is a dragon. These are people not to be trusted.
Not sure how much this is going to help, but I just rolled a 19, praying for her proper memories to come through. Doing what I can to help you, Mox.
You see an image of the owl door.
Natural 20. I remember the Herald's skull. Where is it?
You then see a flash of a big black dragon flying above the ashes of a city, and then the machine turns off.
That is all we have from her memory.
It would appear as if they did see something.
That
As
was
he
the
turns
Herald.
to the rest of the courtroom, and the courtroom, this is something that the pay rooms must speak about with the rest of the court. The 5 of you are to go and gather any evidence that you can to further substantiate your claims.
Very well.
One vision of a dragon is not going to do it. Those memories obviously interfere with the claims that you made, not only against the Mikage, but everything else. Go to the pay rooms and convince them to have a council, because seeing this dragon does make me worry a little bit, wouldn't you say, Alvester? Yes, this is a very troubling thing indeed,
Oh, my
if
head.
it is to be correct. So go to the other pay rooms, gather them, and see if they will see all of your claims.
Moxie,
and gather
I
more evidence.
Very
I have
well.
a question, Moxie.
What?
Hex needs us and needs
Yes.
this to work.
Maybe this should
Yes.
wait.
Hex can see the memories in Willow's stone.
It is possible that the memories that I can put in there. Wait. That thing.
If Hex can see the memories in her stone, that would mean that he would be able to see the dragon. If Hex could come do
We
that for
can't.
us.
He cannot.
He's
That
stuck.
is a multi-dimensional problem that we cannot solve.
Perhaps
Hex
we
is
should
also
have-
not inclined to do that.
Perhaps we should
Just-
have this discussion out of court.
Just figured it would be a last ditch. I
You
don't know.
all seem to be very chatty down there. Would you be
We
so
will have-
inclined to share with the rest of the court what you were saying?
Just
We will
establishing
find your
how we are getting
evidence.
more evidence is all.
We will find your evidence and we will
Yes.
return.
Yes.
You see the Mikage's eyes go red for a split second as a small smirk goes across his face. Very well. Court is out of session. Go
I
gather
then-
your evidence and claim. and meet the pay runes and see if they will come together against their differences.
Oh, I assure you, they will. And I immediately storm my angry self out of there.
I follow.
Drow and Fearbolt, steel your mind if you are to stay with these three. I wonder why you have aligned yourself in the first place.
I look inquisitively and then just leave with the rest of the group.
You see the Mikage stack some papers as another smirk goes across his face and he leaves. And you all are going out of the courtroom. And you are now out of the Azorius building. They showed you out.
Which way now? There
Well,
is
we need evidence.
a
Felgalos,
very
Calabraxis.
frantically lashing tail,
Felgalos and Calabraxis, they can back this up.
but we cannot have Calabraxis leave the tree, and Felgalos cannot leave the tree
Do
unattended.
you not recall the projection he sent us in? He can present evidence here without leaving of it, with the power that he has.
That is true if we could reach him. But we also must be able to convince the Payrunes here of our cause. Which means we are going to need to go to the individual groups themselves and find a way to convince them of this. And calling Calabraxis every time we go to a new guild is not going to do it. We are going to have to muster this evidence, this insistence that they all cooperate for the sake of their own safety ourselves.
We're going to have to be in that court again soon to get them to act. Calabraxis and Felgalos can testify then. I'm not saying we get
Yes.
we make them convince everyone along the way. We just get everyone to gather, get them to present their case.
What do the rest of you think?
I am not 100% sure what to make of this.
So, did Hex, whenever he looked into our memories, did he replace them?
He wouldn't have. That
He also
orb
If
might
you
have.
saw-
he also didn't
Instead of the
have
dragon.
physical access to our memories.
Just the ones that were stored in the orb.
We don't know
But
where these were stored, though, anywhere.
if the next time we have the option, which hopefully will be soon, to speak with him, we can see if he knows which memories those are and put them back.
I don't think those memories were anything more than
I
a
don't recall
cover-up.
any kids. The thing is, in my childhood, there were no such fireworks.
It's
I
a
don't have
cover-up.
a memory like
That's
that.
all it is. He took your memories and edited
twisted
them
them.
in stream.
That has to be what he did.
Because
You were
everything that
able
we
to overwhelm
saw,
it with force of will.
everything that we saw
Yes, and it's making
in
a headache.
your memories happened, but in a different way. It's your
The-
memories, but
the
they're
memories-
changed in stream.
All of the memories that you all saw were of the original events, the very first episode that we ever did of when you all arrived in Timbervale.
Yeah, except I wasn't
Remember
involved in
when
any
I
fire.
said that you saw Leon setting something on fire, the rest of you were laughing, then you were arrested and thrown into jail, and the Mikage came. And
Yeah, it's
you all-
warped versions of what happened.
Right.
I never even knew about a fire in Tim.
Likewise.
I didn't even know about that, and I didn't know anything about no fireworks.
Yeah, the memories that they showed were warped versions of events, things that did not occur. Obviously, the Mikage altered it somehow, so we need to find a way to overcome
We need to
that.
remember we also need to remember he's a vampire lord. He can manipulate us better than we would ever think. Means we're
So,
going to need
The help of a
find
master
some
manipulator.
we're going to need to find some very masterfully manipulative people to help us out manipulate this leech-like puppet master.
Well,
Over
I
the
have an
table,
idea.
how badly did that encounter piss you all off?
Royally. I'm also
I mean,
lost,
the natural 20 on a will save to know my own memories better than a machine was warping them probably has legitimately given Moxie a headache.
What'd you say, Thane?
I'm
McNick?
yes, Mick is pissed off. Me over the table really don't know even where to start to try and get the evidence.
Yeah, same.
So that's just something where I'm completely and totally stumped.
I mean, the first thing that comes to Moxie's mind, or to my mind, I should say, the first thing that comes to mind is start talking to first the guilds that we are all of interest in, save Azorius, and then branch out to the others. But that still leaves the question of where do we start? Do we start with Boros? Do we start with Selesnya? Do we start with Simic? Do we start with, heaven forbid, we start with the Rakdos, because the Rakdos is going to be excited about the carnage either way. But do we start with Boros, who is most eager to go to war? Do we start with Selesnya, who is probably one of the largest voices of peaceful reason, who will keep everyone calm? Do we go to the Golgari first and see what they think of any of this?
Rakdos is led by a dragon, right?
No, a demon.
Oh, okay.
We would need to go around and ask about whose guild has a dragon that runs it. Though
I think if we find a dragon, or like a dragon that runs one of the guilds or something, I don't know, that maybe.
I mean, we wouldn't be seeing said dragon immediately, but why they all seem to have some sort of crest. Why don't we look for one that looks like a dragon?
Sure, that's a good starting point.
Considering that the Perun of Azorius is a sphinx, and the symbol is somewhat reminiscent of one, then why don't we look for something that's shaped like a dragon? See what we find.
It's actually a really good idea.
All right. I say we go that way.
Yeah,
And point up down the street.
That way.
Sure.
As you all are starting to walk down the street, people
We'll
keep
go
bumping
that way.
into you.
And I start just moving people. I'm just like, nope, not
You
having this
hear-
now.
You hear from down an alleyway to your right, you hear a psst. Hey,
Did you hear Moxie?
you all can hear it. It's rather loud.
I hear
What?
a tss noise coming
Yeah,
from
I'm
off the
following
side.
it. I'm going. You just see me wandering over towards it. It's like, yeah.
And Willow, you can feel a presence that is around that corner.
Can I sense exactly where it is?
Roll a d20 for me.
18. 19. Yeah, 18.
About halfway down in the alleyway, you can make out that there's a small individual that is in the alleyway. It appears to be alone.
Is it safe for me to go down there?
Right behind you.
They're asking you, dear.
Oh,
Ralia, is it safe for me to go down there?
sure. He seems small.
Just one or multiple?
I can only sense one right now, but he seems
Okay.
small. So I don't think he'd be much of a threat.
Okay. I casually, not insistently, but casually make my way down.
Do all of you do this?
Yeah.
I'm following Moxie.
Yes.
I stay back to watch the entrance.
As you
Fair.
all are going down this dark alleyway, you see a small individual with big ears and a long nose that has some kind of almost a fashioned crown-esque hat that is tilted, and he is smoking something, and he's flipping a dagger up and down, and you see piercings all over his ears and large pieces of gold and rubies that are embroiled into his rings on his fingers.
Hello there.
Hi.
The name is Krinko.
Nice to meet you. I'm Moxie.
You can all tell that this is a goblin, a goblinoid of some
Of sorts.
kind. Yes.
I thought you were going to say this was Squee, and I was going to be like, oh my god.
No, it's Krinko.
Krinko.
Okay, that's obviously not ringing anything for anybody. All right, just moving on.
No, Krinko rings a bell, but I'm also not overly familiar with goblins and magic lore. But it does
All right.
ring a name. Like, their name does ring a
So-
bell.
I hears that the four of you got a bit of a problem.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, and word travels fast in a big city.
Word travels fast for me.
Of course.
Word travels fast for me. Especially since I've got one of my boys that was sitting in your court case.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, one of my boys, he was sitting there, he's listening to everything. Now, all wonders why the five of yous is getting all uppity against a man like the Mikage Sujiro.
Would you believe us if we told you the truth?
Listen, love, I'm a man that deals in all kinds of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll deal in some of the worst shit you've ever seen in your lives. Otherwise, why would I be here, right?
Sure.
Why are you interested in our case?
You bring up a fair point there, love. I'll tell you, okay? Name's Krinko, and I am a dealer of many different things. Secrets, jewelries, drugs. We won't get into the rest of them right there, but I'm gonna tell you that I lock your jibs that are on your throats. Anybody that'll sit there like you all did and stand up to the Azorius, oh, that really gets me right there, it does. Stick it to those little buggers right there, we will. I also wants to see what's in it for old Krinko, if I can get you as to where you needs to be.
Where is that?
You all have questions. I've got answers, but they don't come for free.
What's your price?
How much
Everyone
you
has
got?
one. Until I manage to get around to a tavern somewhere to play a bit more, I have 3 gold.
I'll tell you what. I'll do you one better. No coin. I want you alls to do a favour for me.
Okay, I'm listening.
I've got a guy that I want you to do a hit on. You do the hit. You take him out. You tell him that Krinko sent you. I'll give you all the information that you want. I'll take you around the city, and none of these fuckers are gonna see where you are. How's
Am I
that
hearing
sound?
this right? You want us to kill someone?
Why would
Done.
we when we don't
We've
know?
done this before.
Oi,
This is not
little
new.
monkey man, come over here. Why don't you listen in on what I'm saying? Maybe you learn a thing or two.
I am listening. I'm also watching out for any goons you might have.
My goons are here. They're everywhere, but they ain't gonna attack you. Not unless I tell them to. You see that guy on the corner right over there that you walk past? Some of those guards that are over there? Who stuffs a little extras in their pockets? Who does that?
That'd be you.
Oh, Krinko does it, that's who's.
He starts touching his nose.
So, what'll it be?
You
You
want
don't
to?
have to do anything I'm saying. You can go and talk to whoever you want. But old Krinko's telling you, I got some way to help you.
And you have your your gold gilded mitts in a lot of different pockets.
Who?
Which is why he's helpful.
Also's people says. Also's people says. They do. He starts looking at his gold on his finger.
Yes.
Who, where, and why?
I need you to kills. He calls himself King Bungo. He runs a tribe of goblins that are under the city. He's mucking on my turf. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
We're very familiar with goblins. I'm sure one won't be too difficult.
Why don't you just take him out?
He's a big boy. He's a big boy, he is.
We've dealt
He's
with
a
a
large
large.
fellow, he is.
Have you
We've
heard of
dealt with-
Grobatha?
Grobberfur, oh yeah. I've heard of that bitch. She's
Yeah,
a
did.
rockstar wanker, ain't she?
She
She
did.
was.
What do you mean she was?
She did.
She
She's
was
dead, is
fun.
Saw it myself.
We were there.
Negotiated it, rather. Negotiated her death.
You all killed Grobberfur.
Made sure she stayed that way, at least.
She was fun.
Well, take off my chips and call me Sally, right? Eh? You know what? I like you all. You took out Grobberfur. Hey, look, I've got some mates that are around those parts. I might just dig in on a turf a little bit, yeah? How's all, what's that town called? Brimberry or Brimheim?
Basinham.
Yeah, how's that place looking? Right for the taking, innit?
It's a crater.
been destroyed.
What do you mean you've been destroyed?
You know that case that you know about where I said a dragon had been summoned? That
was
summoning
summoned.
happened in the city, and it was reduced to a pile of ash.
Really?
So, in your terms, you very well could send some of your finest or some of your favorites out that way and colonize again.
But there's not
But-
much left to take.
There is plenty of place to build, but it's
There's a
also
lot of land there. There's a lot of land. And there's a lot that could be done on land.
Yes, very
There
there
cool.
are
strike me
also
as one who's
dragons
into real estate.
everywhere. The Court of Cinders has been assembled, and they are destroying quite a lot of things. If you're willing to risk that, actually yes, Grobatha's underground area might have been safe from that. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna lean right up close to Moxie and mention, should we address the bounty hunter issue who actually finished off Grobatha?
Oh yes, we have also made friends with a clockwork gentleman you might know, the Repo Man.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of him.
Yep.
I've heard word he might be in town.
Good, because we have something we need to give him because we helped him out with a favor.
He's a scary mate, he is.
Not to us.
He's the one who actually delivered the coup de grace.
Mhm.
He took one of me boys, and he skinned him alive. Took him right open, grabbed out his liver, right out from him while he was still alive, screaming out for his mummy he was. And he took that right there, and he left him for dead.
Sounds about right.
Well, it sounds like your friend missed a payment.
Yes.
Hell, look, I got people who can still take on. Got tons of people. But what I want to know from you lot, are you gonna do the job? Because
I'm all
if you're not,
for...
piss off, I'm not interested. And you didn't hear shit from me.
No. You're the most cooperative person we've seen in this town so far, so yeah.
You obviously
I mean-
ain't been here very long, have you? All
We just
these
got here.
people that align themselves with these guilds, they all, each of them think they've got the right ideas, they do. Not old Krenko. I run my own little game, I do.
Very well.
What's one
we'll play your
goblin?
game for now.
I was gonna say, what's one goblin lord?
Unless anyone has an objection.
I think
I
we
doubt
can
it.
take him.
Let's do it.
I mean, Tralia, you don't have to be involved if you don't wish to. You can sit here and make good conversation with Krenko if you wish, if it offends you. But I am not above getting rid of a goblin.
I
No
won't
offense.
unless necessary.
All right.
Let me tell you this. Are you that kind of girl that really likes things? Really likes the living things, like little critters?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what King Bungo did. He loves taking little rabbits that come out the holes. He loves snapping an eggs and eating them for breakfast. He'll take them, skin them alive, hang them on his shoes and use them
Okay,
for
still
socks.
talking.
He
Don't
will.
need to know the details.
If that gives you any encouragement to stick him right where it hurts, I'll just give you some.
We have a nursery rhyme. But more on that later. See y'all, shall we? Where can we look?
Where
what
should
area will
we
we find
look for?
King Bungo, you're gonna have to go down into Gruul territory.
Okay. That will be fun. Which way
You
would
can
that...
either do Gruul, or, if you want a quicker way, going down the Golgari tunnels.
I
If you
vote...
go down the Golgari tunnels, there's a tunnel that comes right out where the sewer grates are. If you go down in the sewer grates, they're right there. Got a big old Golgari symbol on them. I could take you there if you'd like.
That would be nice. We've only been here, about 3 hours.
Sure.
We haven't had a chance to learn anything about the city.
Yeah, we'll take your guidance and go through the Gogari tunnels with you.
That's
We know
great.
that you're not all talk.
In what fashion, there, love?
You're all talk about how you have all these connections. We have no proof, so if we do your dirty work for you, how do we know that we'll do the evidence we seek?
I actually think we should trust good
I
friend
think we should
Krenko
trust
here.
Krenko. He is, after all, the first person to not be absolutely obtuse about getting anything done.
But are goblins known for being trusted?
Most
This one
goblins
seems to
don't
be...
speak so eloquently.
Well, he's
Well,
been
that's a little racist, isn't it?
He's been making
That's a
eye
little
contact.
We've had some rather low-brow run-ins with goblins in the past. We don't have a terribly high standard to hold them to, so you are the highest standard we have.
He's
Bear
actually-
in mind,
He's actually looking us in the eyes and talking to us instead of filling out paperwork, so I think that's something we can trust
That's
him on.
true.
How about
Bear
I
in
do you
mind-
this one? How about I do you this one, love?
He takes off one of his rings and he hands it to Tralia.
If I don't hold me words, keep that ring.
Okay then.
That's
and
fair.
I'm a man that don't like to have naked fingers.
That's very...
I'll put
That's
it
very
on.
fair.
Yeah, I'll just put it on. Keep saying.
Looks good on you there.
Over
All
the
right.
table. The
bathroom.
cutest... That is the cutest I've ever found a goblin in my life. Aside from Squee the Immortal. That is the cutest thing I've ever seen a goblin do, ever.
Let me tell you something. We're gonna have to go, and we're gonna have to go and be a little on the down low. In case you're
Understood.
Good. Up. Easy. Tail hidden. Also easy.
Anybody that sees me's around, especially these Azorius fucks, they're gonna arrest me 2 seconds.
Means we'd best learn to run.
We'll make sure that won't happen.
I like your style. You're the kind of man that'll gut someone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Got 'em right across the fucking neck. I like you.
No No
You
problem
like a
doing so.
job? You want a job? You want to work for old Krenko?
Sure, Krenko.
Oh, you do you?
maybe think before you speak, child.
Yes, please. This is your first foray.
After we do this.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. And then we'll talk about the second job, Franco.
I'm gonna cuff him on the shoulder and step him away. You can't just keep agreeing to everything that Timnon presents to you.
I'm gaining his trust. Calm down.
You already
You are
have his
being
trust.
a
He's gaining
fool!
ours.
You are being a fool, Draxus. This is your first
It'll
foray
be
out of your town in
interesting.
your life.
If I get one of yous on my team, I might be able to get all of yous on my team.
On your team.
One thing at a
I
time.
have.
Yes, one
It's
thing at a
competitive,
time.
yours.
Let's take care of
Yeah.
the laundry.
Yes.
Now, we're gonna do the job. But you all are probably gonna need some things, aren't you?
Such as?
You don't have got a guilds yet, do you?
Mm-mm.
No, no guild.
You're not
Nope.
in guild yet.
I had
Not
just
yet.
attempted, and entirely certain I want to go back into that building just yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you all have anything in mind? Because in order to get some places around here, you're gonna have to show some ID. And that's gonna be your guild.
I have every idea as to where it is I wish to be.
Me
And
as
it's not-
well.
It
Alright.
might not be terribly far away from
I
here.
think Kai and I are a bit up in the air.
Yes.
Alright. Any of them fancy you?
I was fancying the Azorius until they treated us as they did. Now
They're
I don't know.
law-abiding pricks is what they is. They're law-abiding pricks.
To a T.
I
They
am
all sit there in
law-abiding
the
by trying to
uppity
be honest.
chairs looking down over you.
To a
I
T.
like 'em.
You're not alone.
Okay. Well, tell me where you're wanting to go and we'll go there first. Which one of you is wanting to place yourself in the rankings?
I've had Rakdos in mind.
Oh, you are just... You're really up there with the blood and gore, aren't you?
Oh,
Okay.
just a bit, Franco. Just a bit.
Well, you're
Starting to think
just in
perhaps we
luck.
should have left him with his father.
The Rakdos Carnival is hosting one of their blood carnivals today.
How won't that be fascinating?
Oh.
If this is going to be anything like any of the sacrifices I've seen back home, this is sure to be interesting.
Oh, the carnival, they love all their stuff right over there.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. Now, what are the rest of yous? What are you looking for?
It's lesbian.
I could gather that from you, love. I got that. You're right there. You feel for the natures. You feel for the animals. Yeah. You're with the right crowd with them. What about the rest of you buggers?
Nick, what was your idea? Oh yes, you were the one who was up in the air.
I've got an idea.
Alright.
There's a particular type of hat that I've heard of that'll sort you into your own guild.
Okay. Alright. Sure. Let's take a visit to this hat of sorting.
Oh yeah. I just call it the placey thing.
I like it.
It's a placey do, you know?
Yeah.
I've not come up with a good name for it. It's a hat, it sorts things, but you know, I've just not come up with a fair name for it yet, have I?
How about
Call it the selector.
or the organizing hat?
I could, you know, placey thing, it's got a nice ring to it.
Choose a
Yeah.
cat.
Placey thing. The choosy hat, the choice maker. Alright.
Something.
Hell, call it Jim. I don't care.
He opens up a trap door that was underneath a barrel that he scoots to the side.
Come on down in here.
Alright.
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 Over the table, I'm starting to massively overheat. So if we can reach a stopping point soon, that would be great.
I gotcha.
I have
Yeah, that's fine.
to take mine.
We'll get everybody placed at least, and we'll find a
Maybe we'll get a
stopping
place.
point, and then we'll do the whole
Epic battle that the thing was set up for this entire session next time?
Hey, you all choose the way that this all goes. I don't.
You sure?
Oh yeah.
Every choice we make changes what table he rolls from and limits the choices that he has going forward for things
All
that
I'm
interact
saying
with
is
us.
it doesn't feel like we're making many choices. Or maybe it's because I've been in an odd headspace. Never mind. Never mind.
There was a lot of paperwork. It
There
took a
was
lot of time.
there was a lot of stuff going on that generally just caused some unforeseen trouble with you personally, which is
we
fine.
Move
But
on.
yes, that might be why you feel that way.
Yeah. Can we? Let's go into the basement, shall we?
Away from
Shady
the
basement with the
bureaucracy
shady
we
goblin.
go.
As you all climb down into this dank and dusty room, he pats off this hat and he says,
If you want to make your choice and go and pick one of them, you're more than welcome. Or this'll do it for you.
I
starts
take the hat.
wiggling this dusty hat.
I take it.
All right. All you got to do is place it on your head.
Okay.
You hear the hat say, "Ah, this one there's a lot going on in here, isn't it? Okay, let's see here.
This hat sounds like a Reggie.
And for you, it's the Orzov Syndicate.
Orzov Syndicate. Okay. Thank you.
The money people? Okay.
Hey, you're welcome.
Next.
Okay.
I'm giving it to Kai.
Sure.
This one here. He's an interesting lad, ain't he? Got a lot of choices going on, got a lot of things. Let's see. Boros Legion.
Oh, yes. Now that I think I might have been able to place. That makes some sense.
That's unexpected.
Your propensity to accidentally use your strength to break things comes to mind when I think of a legion.
By the way, I think your hat sounds like a Reggie. There you go.
Might want to name it Reggie.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good name, eh? Reggie, good old Reggie. Come on, place
Frank.
Reggie.
Krenko, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what you want?
You know of any magical
That's
items
wonderful.
being circulated at the moment? Anything, even any hints, anything you've heard?
Oh,
I know
that's
of a
good.
few.
Like what?
You're gonna have to do the work in order to get in.
If I do your job for you after we do this, tell me how to get one of them.
Hell no, that wasn't our original agreement.
You need a job.
Drax.
I'm willing to do it.
You all are doing the job right now.
No, the other one.
Ja-
One
On my
thing
other
at a
jobs
time,
are where
child.
You work for me.
Draxus, we have bigger things going on than your personal interest right this second.
Okay, let's take care of this first.
You can definitely tell Kai that he has not really ever had to deal with anyone except himself in a very long while.
Some people think they can do everything. Life is one
As
thing
he
at a
takes
time.
the hat and he starts folding it, you hear
also-
a booming voice from above you all.
May these be known that we are coming.
That sounds like a
Oh.
herald of things to come.
That is most
And
definitively the
that
herald of things to go.
Is where we leave off, ladies and gentlemen.
That voice was sick. Oh my god. How do you do
would
that?
be-
Oh, he's done
He's done
got
many voices.
practices.
Thank you everyone for watching D&D
Thank you so much
Game
for watching.
D&D Night
This
7.
has been a very strange episode.
Yep.
Very
Many
strange
Well,
encounter.
groundworks have been laid. It looks like we have a lot on our
Apparently
plate
I am
for the
a-
next few sessions.
Apparently, I am a lawful good member of a warlike syndicate thing.
Yep.
Syndicate?
Yeah,
Legion.
I need to write down mine, which is going to take place in a moment. Anyways, thank you all for watching. We'll be back next Thursday, 8 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier than that Eastern Time. See you then.
No.